Morning, everyone. Morning. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. You're going to have to excuse the sunglasses today. I've got a cracking migraine. All right, so not here wearing them for any other reason, but the bright light in my eye from there so you can see me is just a little too much today. So we're going to take it nice and easy here, but first day that we should get some volume back. Okay, so excited to trade these markets with you. Hopefully we get some moves. As always, we're going to start on the daily and work our way down. All right, you can see very clearly on our open today, we're trading inside Friday's bar. If we think about last week's levels, this was previous week. So we're trading right, probably in the midpoint of the previous week. If we measure that out from the high to the low, yeah, they go right into the 50% of the previous week. All right, and we're trading inside the previous day, and we're coming up to a low volume node on the yearly profile. This dates back all of 2025 and 2026. So a little node here as an under over. Now you will notice in this node, we have a cluster of SMAs. We talked about this in the weekly newsletter, which you should have got Saturday morning. All right, so in here we have the 5-day, we have the 20-day, and we have the 50-day. All right, and these are pivotal for position traders, right? This is how we know sentiment, where we are, what we're looking to do. And when they're tightly coiled like this, well, we don't really have a play. What we're looking at here is probably coiling, and then these starting to contract, and then we're going to see expansion one way or the other, all right, when we get tight coils like this, right? Because when we're in trending markets, we will hug the 5 and we will break above, or we will hug the 5 and we'll break below, all right? But right now, everything's coiled. And I have a feeling we might be like this for a while this year. You might see some volatility in these big range rotations, because if we are actually going to put on a tops take a decent amount of time to form. They don't happen overnight. We might still have some of this carry trade unwind happen. Everyone's looking for it in a day. It can take weeks or months to happen. And we have obviously what's going on in Venezuela on top of that. So lots of volatility. Tech is gapping up this morning. You will notice most of the chip names are gapping up. They have conferences after the close today. All right, so possibly some front running, some positioning from the funds into that. Maybe we get a sell the news tomorrow, depending what the conferences are. All right, so let's just move down out of the daily, look at the hourlies now, and go from there. We can look at the value areas. All right, so here we go. This is what's going to become important. Last week's value is right here. And we have a shelf here, and then a big shelf here. All right, that's previous week's value. Previous day's value is down here. All right, so you'll notice at the moment we are gapping up because we closed down here somewhere. Yeah, down here. That was the close, and we're gapping up, and we're back inside of previous day and previous week. So what we're looking at this morning is, are we going to hold above Friday's value? All right, are we going to hold above Friday's value? If we are, all right, ideally we want a pullback in to hold previous day value area high, previous week value area low, and we're going to look for a blast off from there. What we have to be cautious of is these levels which we've got marked out. I'm going to remove some of these drawings. All right, you can see this node here. We're starting to get over it. All right, if we hold this node, there's one place we're going to go. It is all the way back into POC. All right, so really from sort of 680 to, let's call it 740, so about 60 points here, is probably where the market wants to go and test. All right, and the question is, if we get up there, is that an area that we're going to fade, or are we going to find acceptance? So the early plays are, do dips hold into previous day, value area high previous week? Do 600s hold instead if it's a very shallow dip? And are we then driving up into this area here? Once we get there, do shorts come back in and take control and rotate us back down for a retest, or maybe even lower? Or are we going to go sideways, all right, at an area of value, right, which we've done before? And if we do go sideways, are we then eventually going to look for acceptance back up here to retest previous week? So everything is possible right now because we're trading back inside previous week, back inside previous day. All right, we're trading back inside these two profiles. So we must be careful of rotation, but so far I'd say this down here looks like potential excess. Those who traded with me in Discord on Friday would know we got long down here off this. I think it was the naked point of control. We took this long. Well, it was here, wasn't it? For about 100 points together on Discord on Friday, which was a nice trade. All right, moving into the 5 minutes, you can see what's happened overnight. Just this chart here, if you look above, I'll make it a little bit bigger for you. There you go. right, moving into here, you can see here's the gap, where's the close, all right, here's the close, here's the gap, Asia sideways, London expansion, we're still driving higher at the moment. Lots of stops here. If we do get stuck, whether it be here or here, all right, and we get stuck back under value, lots of stops here to come and pop. Can't rule that move out either. So knowing those edges is going to be key today. Are we going to hold these dips? Are we going to get stuck and rotate? Are we going to drive up to here and find acceptance, or are we going to come up here and there's an instant short back down? If we find acceptance, are we going to go back to the other side? Is there a short back there? Is there a look above and fail, or is there acceptance for a new price higher? All right, we have to be careful today. Monday morning, first major trading day of the year, really. So head on swivel is what I would say. Head on swivel. All right, let's have a look at some of the broader markets and what's going on. I'm going to make this grey now because this was that little edge and we're now over it. I did actually play a little short here, but stopped out in profit, but I was looking for that rotation back down. Right, let's get into it. ES, exactly the same kind of thing. Remember, we've had relative strength on the ES. Right, so if we're going to start finding acceptance, I'd say this pivot up here is very, very key. Right, let's just call it 940s. Right, acceptance above 940s might allow that drive up. We can think about this as a swing point. Yeah, it's also the 61 into 46. So we're going to have to be careful with that on the ES. Right, do we find acceptance for the drive, or is it just a push which gets sold into? Remember, the last couple of weeks, or at least last week, every single push was sold into. They were dumping inventory. Is that still going to be the case, is the question. If we look at the SPY, we can think about the gamma levels. All right, it was quite clear. We talked about it in Discord last week. All right, 680. All right, 680 held. It was a pivot. It was a gamma level right here. All right, little flutter under, and we're back above. All right, so I'll be watching the 85s now. Do they find acceptance over 85s? And then it will be the same levels, 88, 90, and then 700s. All right, so if they're going to go upside, that's what they're looking for. If they have failed follow through versus this, you'll be looking for them to break that and come all the way back down. Let's have a look at the VIX, which is starting to grind higher. So if we just have a look at the daily here, all right, we're coming into a pivot, but we can see we've been creating this sort of flag higher. This area here is going to be key. Do we find acceptance in here for a drive to 16? Are we going to do one of these in here for a while? Or is this like a push and a fail and we come right back down? Or are we going to reclaim 16 and come back up to the top side and run all these out? Right, you're going to see lots of if, buts, and maybes. That's what we're looking at today. If, buts, and maybes while we set the temperature and the tone for this week and this year. All right, let's have a look at tech, because tech's moving. All right, Apple. All right, actually flat here, so inside Friday's range. You'll be looking for a pivot break over 71 here. If they get over 71, be watching for a move into 72 and 72.50s and 260s. Amazon, there's a nice gap up. All right, leaving Friday's volume. All right, so if they hold dips, which they have been this morning, they'll be looking to take out this pivot here into 28 and try and get back up here into 30 on Amazon. So decent gap up on Amazon leaving Friday trapped. You want to be careful if they get back under here, right? Any of you trading Amazon. Goog, same kind of thing. All right, Goog was actually pretty decent last week on Friday. That was a decent close, right, into VWAP. Question is, can it hold any dip into sort of 15 and 14? Meta, not as good. All right, opening pretty much flat. There's your peak. All right, so there's the 2 drive, and we're back inside that on Meta. So just building out volume there on Meta. You'll see it's the chips that are the ones going. Microsoft, all right, that's a little bit better. Okay, so next pivot is up here on Microsoft. So if Softy can hold any of these dips, all right, can it get back into 47s? But a bit of a gap up there on Softy. Yeah, about $1.50. This is where we get going. All right, here's where we get going. Remember, these have catalysts coming tonight. So some front running into here. Decent gap up. All right, decent gap up here. $4 gap up. Question is, can it get back above 92s? If we zoom out on this, we can see the importance of some of these levels. All right, if we start breaking out from here, can we get back up to 98 and 200s is the question. All right, is this now this play here? All right, are they able to do it into this catalyst tonight? I don't know, but that's what it's looking like it's trying to do. Tesla, same thing, gapping up. There's Friday's volume. All right, can it hold above? Can it find acceptance? If it doesn't, we come back down. Same story as all of them. As a equally weighted mag, gap up. All right, because the chips are moving as an equally weighted mag, but into that VWAP. We can look at a couple other names, broader sectors like Oracle. All these chip names are going to get going. There you go. Oracle's going. AMD's going. I'm sure INTC is going. INTC's going, so you can see the chip names finding bids here this morning. If we look at some of the sort of the more beta names, what are they doing? Big gap up there on IREN, decent gap up there on IONQ, decent gap up there on MBTS. These are all the AI related names. AGTI might have some room to go before it gets resold into, maybe a little pivot up here. So yeah, some strength coming in tech there this morning, which is worth being aware of. All right, it's worth being aware of the tech we're seeing in the strength we're seeing in tech this morning. Can they sustain the bid? All right, that's the bigger question, because when we've seen pushes last week, they've been sold into. Right now, we look like we're trying to get up to this previous week point of control. What I will do is mark out this whole area just so it's a little bit easier. Let's make sure this is nice and tight. So I'd say 680, 690 to sort of 735, 740. That's the area where they're trying to drive into. All right, everyone, that has us covered. Some of you might be trading oil or oil-related names. That is all moving, obviously. So if you're looking at, I don't know, OXL and all those big oil company names, they are all moving this morning. They're all up 5+%. All right, so there's probably a decent trade in there for the next few days at least. And let's go through this chat. Good morning, everyone. I'm probably not going to get a chance to say good morning to you all, but let's try. Good morning, Clint, Avzid, Full Forward, Toby, Red Plasma, Raphael, Mark, Larry, the other Dave, Jeff Stewart, Gangster Garber, Tartan Trader, welcome back, my friend. Good to see your name in chat. Firewater, Silem, Bart, Low Hanging Fruit, Green Otter, Marek, Peter, Jonathan, Myron, Black Widow, JSource, InfoRisk, NFC, Aristide, I don't know if I got that right. Zuzu, My Baby Cow, these names are amazing. Peter Illis, Red Plasma, Gonzalo, George B, Chris Thorne, Troy, One-on-One, Stephen, Issy Trades, Mochum, Brandon, Chris Trades and NV, John Adjust, Rebby, Foster Scott, morning mate, Carla, Adam, Amani, Priska, Thumper, Debea, Miguel, Even, Raf. Oh my God, there's so many of you here. I'm not going to be able to catch up with you. Nick, Shimmy, Market Cap, Kiwi, Poppy Cow, Daryl, Juan, Jade, Radical, Marin. If I missed you out, I'm sorry, everyone. But yeah, thank you for joining. As this stream continues to grow, I'm extremely thankful for you guys joining me on stream each day. It's fun trading with you lot. Make sure you smash that like button nice and early. Hit that like button nice and early. We will do giveaways as always. You have, what, about another 48 hours, I think, for the Apex sale, for the 90% sale. If you're interested, code FCT. Lucid have just announced a 35% sale this morning on the 50k and 25k using code FCT as well. The other ones, I think, are 30% off. I'll get some flyers out early. But as always, FCT will always get you the best code for all your prop firms. Other than Take Profit Trader, you need to use code FlowZone there. And how long we got left here? Not very long. 50 seconds, folks. So nice and calm this morning. Let's see if they drive up into this sort of previous week point of control area. Let's see if there's a short position here that we have up into that, or if they find acceptance. Oh, did you, Chris? Did you get a better sale or a worse sale? Yeah, sorry, guys. Those joining late, I'm wearing sunglasses because I've got a cracking headache. It's nothing to do with how I want to look. I've got an absolute awful headache. So the lights from the, I don't know what you call them, 4K lights, whatever, on my face so that you can see me on stream are rather bright. Okay, here we go. Here's the open. Just let this settle down for a minute. So all of the mag gapping up here. Biggest gap up in Tesla there this morning. And probably going to drive out into that previous week point of control like we talked about. That's the first target. And if they get back up there, previous week value area high. So this is the drive into towards those 700s. See if they can keep going here. There is some liquidity resting up there. Is there anything above yet? Not yet. Not yet. So an old imbalance up there. Let's see if they get up there and if they find acceptance, and then we can think about what next. The other trade will be back under 600. All right, if they fail 600, there'll be a rotation from 600 to sort of 550s to 530s. So if we can drive up here and get stuffed, I'll join in for the short for the rotation back down to 6s. If we drive up here and find acceptance, well, I'll think about the move up into previous week value area high, I guess. It's not ideal, but I'd consider it. Much rather play short side for the move back down to 6s here, which is what we're starting to see. Back to that New York Open, some flush coming in here. Do they find a bid here at this New York Open is the question. That blue line on your screen. Would rather this gets a little bit higher. Would be more ideal to start the day. Coming back to these 6s like we talked about, this grey box, the 6s over under here. If they soak here, they're going to want to go back to that old point of control. If they fail 6s, there's a rotation back down to value. If they lose value, next grey box and old point of control from previous day. So I'm willing to play both sides here while we figure out what we're doing, but just waiting to see if we can come to a key level first. I don't want to front run it. Yes, still finding a drive. It's a good drive out on ES. Check the VIX here. Are we gapping down and running lower? No, not yet. So VIX is hovering just under 15s right now. So let's see if they find a bid. Back to the 6s here. This is the level we just talked about. If they start losing this, there's probably a move down into this block here. These value areas, if they bid up here, then they're going to try and get back to that point of control. So this 600, same level that we talked about in Discord, folks. Watching this to see how we act here. Do bids come in? Do they trap shorts? Very thin this market this morning, by the way, folks. Haven't seen the volume come in yet. So if we lose these 6s, I'd say the big move here is 603 is where big sellers came in here. It's a huge seller that came in at 603. So all the time he's comfortable, there's potential to lose 6s and trade down to 550s. If he gets knocked out, then the rotation back higher is likely to happen. There are stacking some bids here between 87 and 62s right now. So here comes the move back into 603, driving through 603, filling this imbalance. There's still no short trigger yet. Reclaiming 6s. So good hold of this grey box here so far. So I'm watching this New York Open now. Willing to play both sides. So either shorts will protect this, or we're going to see a squeeze up into previous week point of control. So what I'm looking at, a couple of ideas here, something like this for a short trigger. Maybe this, and if we fail this, that's the next short trigger. If they hold this, that's the long trigger. So willing to play both sides here. So far, stuck at VWAP, stuck at that New York Open. They can't get back over it. Apple's losing a bid here, as is Microsoft. All right, so you've seen some weakness in a couple names. Tesla's still going upside, Nvidia's still going upside. They're trying to hold these 600s. There's definitely a chance to move that back down to 560, 550 here if they lose this with power. But at the moment, it's being absorbed. It is very whippy down here on light volume while they decide their positioning. Relative weakness here, definitely in the Qs in the last couple minutes. Just having a look at the spiders. You can see there's bids down at 560, which is previous day value area high kind of level. So I'm wondering if we flush down to that and pick them up down there. So here's the test. We might get it here. Here we go. Is their follow through now? Still finding some passive buys here. Can we get down to 560s is my question. Can we wash now? Nice. Scalping a little out on this flush in case we don't make it all the way. Hits 80s, beautiful, covering some more. Can we get follow through to 60s? Stop moved in now. Let's just see. We're under 600s. Don't want to see this trade back above 603s. Paid myself either way here. Very whippy. Back to the sixes. Down to tiny size now. Just see if we can move lower. PMI, yeah, PMI 10 o'clock. Or ISM manufacturing, sorry, 10 o'clock. Still trading around these sixes, around these 85s. Can we get down on this runner down to 55s? Here we go. Come on, baby. Down you come. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Down you come. Nice. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Here we go, folks. Make sure you're paying yourself in this move. Here's previous day value area high. All right, so the bids might come in here. We don't know. All right, if they're going to bid against this, then they're going to look for the rotation back up. All right, this is a huge area. Value area high previous day, value area low previous week. And they might well bid up off this if they want to hold the rotation. If they fail this, then we're going to look for this move and this move here. All right. So I paid myself either way now. Really nice W to start the day. I mean, it's not the biggest move, but 40, 50 points or whatever it is, we'll take it on a Monday morning. All right, we're willing to play both sides. Shame we didn't drive higher first. If we could have got that point of control, it would have been really nice. All right, so you're starting to see some bids come in here. Some shorts just got caught under 60. I'm completely flat now, folks. Nice play to start the day. W's in chat if you caught some of that with me. Back to this grey box. And like we said, we've got to be careful here. All right, this is an area bulls might want to bid off. They will try and find acceptance back over this. And this is to complete rotation one. All right, so we traded from here to here. Bulls are trying to trade from here to here. This is the level of competitiveness, let's call it. And if they get acceptance, they want to come back up here. If they fail acceptance, we're going to retest this again. Bulls will try again. If they fail, we move lower. There's lots, like I said, some of you will be upset because I'm like, if we do this, we do this. If we do this, we do this. That's how we have to trade, folks, when we're trading inside range. Really nice. Lots of you getting it. Oh, that's nice to see on a Monday morning. I absolutely love that, folks. Well done. E-Rock getting it. Sucks Deluxe. Tartan Trader. Richard getting it. Otis getting it. Alvo getting it. Chris Cooper getting it. Grey Kitty. Nick. David. Asvid. Calypso. Aristide DM. Troy. Dim Sum. Jeff. Stephen. W. Christy, Amina, and Raf. Nice work, folks. Amina says, I got the buy. Oh, nice. So you took the buy off here. Yeah, I mean, that's equally fine if you're trying to play that range rotation, right? And then we said, if they want to hold this, this is your partial point, partial 2, partial 3, partial 4, right? If you're playing the long back up, that's what you're looking for. But you've got to get back above 600s. If you can't find acceptance here, it's going to keep rotating until one side is caught off. All right, so those 600s still so far heavy. The book is not that thick yet, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not that thick yet. Back down we come, retesting these levels. If we lose value, all right, we can drive lower and lower and lower. All right, these are possible here. Globex is possible here. Closing the gap is possible as well. All right, so it really depends how we act here now. Really, really depends how we act here now. Is it possible to raise my volume? It's probably that I'm just talking away from the mic. I'm pretty much maxed out here, my friend, and it's 6:40 in the morning, so I don't want to be shouting, but I will try and talk into the mic a little bit more for you. I'm sorry. Okay, so we've got bid stacking down here, 60s to 40s. That's where the buyers are hanging out passively, trying to get filled as they're much below. There's a guy down at, towards a decent sized guy down at 487s. Yeah, this is in my next block. Okay, that's good to know. So they're respecting the areas that we've got drawn out. Yep, news at 10. News at 10 o'clock. Still seeing buyers get trapped on every pushback towards sixes so far this morning. All depends if the buyers are willing to defend here or if we're going to look to defend a lower area right now. So this is the rotation here between these two right now. It's just sort of lower time frame rotation. So back down towards previous week value area low. Will they bid around here? If we start losing all these areas, we can look and potentially we'll rotate all of Friday. Love you guys done for the day. Hey, nice, man. Congratulations. It's a lovely start to the day in the year. Okay, they're still bidding down here. It's still a bit of a battle. Looking to see if one side gets caught down here. There is a little bit of excess short side. Sellers under 45s. But these buyers can't get us back over the 80s at the moment. So let's see if we get back over the 80s. If we're willing to bid up here. Looking a little bit better. This is the level though. They've got to start driving through these and through the 80s and really back through the 6s, right? Where we looked for that short earlier. So really nice. Feathering into a long here, peeling some off in case we flush back down. There's a big seller at 87, right? He is the level. I'm trying to see if we can get acceptance over. Can we bid back over 87? If we bid over 87, I think we go 600s. If we bid over 600s, we go back towards high of day. So just peeling some off as we got into that. See if we can hold this. If we don't hold this, that's fine. Take the run off again. It's just the same thing over and over for me. Small size, plain rotations. See if we find acceptance or not. No, tell you when I enter a trade. Man, I can't draw this out anymore if I try. If you are going to try and copy me, you're going to lose, mate. Learn how to trade. Let's see if we hold these. I want to see us hold a bid right here, right now. Otherwise, I'm going to cut this. Not liking what I'm seeing on the tape so far. There we go. That's better. Can we need to get acceptance over 87s here? Here we go. That's better. Can we get back over 6s now? Come on. Got to get back over 6s now. I'll consider an add if we start basing over 6s. All that rotation all the way back up. Really good. Yes, lovely. Okay, squeeze now, please, and then try and base because I want to get some more size on here. Will it push all the way back to high of day? Yes, here we go. Beautiful. We've got a little node here at 26s to be aware of. Really nice. Just another quick rotation there. It's 40, 50 point rotation there. Really nice. Off this area, we said, bulls, we need to hold this area. This blue line to blue line. Bulls have successfully held this. This is the level of battle. This is our level of battle. So we were short this morning. For those of you asking for the trade from here to here, I was now long from here to here, and I'm waiting to see, do we find acceptance for this, or do we do this again? Don't really want to play the short again in my mind now. We've had the chance to break down. If I'm going to play the short again, it's going to need to be something like this. Otherwise, I think we might have enough excess in this little area here to do this move. They're starting to add liquidity higher now, which is good. So we've got stuff to aim for with our runners. Come on. Can we find acceptance here? Really good. Really good. I want to see us trade back through between 23s and 30 now. All right, 23s and 30. If we can get back above that, I think we go high of day, but that's the next level. Opening range now set, folks. Here we go. Here's the test of 23s to 30s. Come on, baby. Up you go. Up you go. Peeling a little off in this push because lots of buyers are coming in here. And then market buying the high here, which always worries me. Here we go. Here's the 30s. Yeah, baby. All right, let's see if we can get back above this in the New York Open now, and then we should go high of day if we can do that. And if we can go through high of day, my expectation is to come into 700s now. Really nice way to start the week and the year. Oh. Do I think we trade up to previous week point of control and then dump? I think we trade up to it. I can't tell you if we're going to dump there until I see how we act when we get there, mate. It's possible that, like, if I was a seller, I'd be selling into that move, but it's very possible we squeeze all the way up to previous week's value. If we find acceptance there, we will get all the way up to the top side. Okay, so here we just traded into those 30s. All right, look at this level at the top. These 30s, like I said, 23 to 30s is going to be key. This is where we're trading at the moment. There's a big node here that we've developed this morning. So peel some off here, and then I'm waiting now on the runner. Can we get back above the New York Open, squeeze out current day high, and get up to previous week point of control above us? Already paying myself either way. All right, let's get some volume on here for the day now that we've been open a little while. No, it's the wrong one. It's not what I want. All right, there we go. So here you can see the node I was looking at. 23 to 30, right? 23 to 30. You'd want buyers need to protect these 600s, right? Basically 96s. Buyers would want to protect this. If we're going to see that continuation, we're going to need to see this move here or this move here. Right? We don't want it back under here now on our runners. If we come under here, well, we're going to expect rotate back down to there again, which is going to be ugly. But remember, we are an inside bar on the daily. We're inside on the weekly so far. We're inside value on the weekly. But we are above value on the daily now, which is good. So we're trying to auction higher prices on daily versus Friday. Back to these sixes again. Yeah, Nvidia giving that move back. This is the thing. There might be profit, like we said, beginning of the stream. Every drive up, we've seen profit taken so far. It just depends if today's different. But it's absolutely been a thing. If we start trading under 90s, I'll cut the runner. And that's fine. Paid myself, like I said. And we're just inside this, what is developing as a D-shaped profile this morning. Like I said, if, buts, and maybe type trade. See money, take money type environment right now. If we lose these 90s, we'll flush 80s, I'll be out. If we lose these 90s, I'm out. There we go, I'm out here. So locked in, can always reload. But I don't want to play short here inside this value. We'll wait to see us trade outside of this. Right? If we're really going to get weak, I'll need to see this stay heavy. What you need to be careful of down here is, of course, this move here. I'll give you a readout on the market here. Overall, equally weighted, about 1% up. Tesla 3.22% up. Nvidia 1/3% up now. That was 2.5% up a matter of minutes ago. Microsoft 1/3% down. Meta 1.19% up. Google 0.5% up. Amazon 1.89% up, and Apple 0.69% down. All right, we're still protecting current value area low on the day. Previous day value area high. Previous week value area low. All right, until we trade under these, I'm not thinking about a short now. I think we're in a rotational market. So until I see weakness under key levels, I'm not thinking about a short. It doesn't mean I'm having another go long here. Just waiting now. Let this develop. that point of control on the day, back to these sixes again. Market seems very thin on the book. It's amazing how thin we are at the start of a new year. Time for coffee. News coming? Yeah, we've got 10 minutes till the news. Bidding out this liquidity down into 75 and 60 again now. So strong selling today has come in sub 80 and then 66s and then the lows. All right, so that's where the aggressive sellers have been, and they haven't got their way yet. All right, so I'd say right where we are now, there was some aggressive selling, and then there was more at sort of 78 down to 70, and then more at the lows. So those sellers need to be back in the money if we're going to see follow through underneath value. ES back down to its New York Open here. VIX trying to find a bid back to the 15s on the VIX. We're trading right around this point of control. You can see this big D shape being developed here. These are the markets Alex doesn't want to trade in. How silver? It's 7.38% up. That's how silver is. So you can see these rotations. Trade 1 today was from here to here. Trade 2 today was from here to here. We got a little bit extra out back down into here now, and letting this develop whatever it wants to do around here. I don't want to trade in this little part here. I want us to move away from that and give us some sentiment for the day. Market waiting for news? Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. Point of control up in these 600s again. That's still the level. I still think we want to go upside. Here we go. We're going to do it now. Back into these 620s to 630s. See if we find acceptance now. If we go through here, we're still looking at the same thing. All right, short still, remember, sells, like I told you, have come in aggressive here and not get their way. If we start doing this, we will squeeze. They will all get caught. And that's where all the strong selling is down here. If you ask me how I know, I can see it on footprint. All right here. Again, in this same level. These guys, oh my God, are you going to help me out here? These guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys, these guys are all out the money. So if we hold and pivot, they're going to get squeezed out. Big if, but it has potential to do it. So if we hold these sort of sixes, same thing we were talking about earlier, maybe got the chance to do it. Oh, is that you, Jake? I saw it come in. I'll be honest, mate. I've had not the best weekend to listen to anything, but I did see it come in, the intro and outro music and stuff. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I will take a listen properly this week, I promise. But I've had a bit of a tough weekend here, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not feeling too good today. Pounding headache. But thank you. That's awfully kind of you to do that as well. So back down to these sixes and this imbalance down to 90. Still waiting here. Probably got to get through the news here until we see what we want to do. Yes, holding that New York Open. Still flat here. I can show you my board for those that are like, well, I'm not seeing anything. This is my board right now this morning. All right. Because I'm not feeling well. I'm not linking them. Just trading one at a time, nice and slow. Thanks, DK. Appreciate it. All right, still inside value on the day. All right, you can see this big old D shape. Well, it's not even that big, to be honest. This is what we're building out. We're not finding acceptance above. We're not finding acceptance below. Right, we are rotating. I still think we're going to do this at the moment, but let's see what this news has to say about that move, eh? Back to value area high, these 620, 630s, that node we talked about. So we've only had 134 points today. That's the size of the move so far. How long we got left? 5 more minutes. What's this hourly candle looking like? Pretty ugly. Pretty big wick top side right now. Just missed our level. If we think about what we talked about this morning on the hourly, that's why it's important to zoom out. Right, this level here, and we said big node previous week. We just missed it. We just missed it here. So it got stuffed into this. So sellers are hanging out up here. All right, and we bid so far off this. All right, so there is the move. That's all we've done. Drive up into this, failed, didn't quite make it. All right, well, I would have liked to snapshot up here. If we'd done something like that, it would have been really good. But instead, we're in a rotation now while we develop some volume, while it decides who it wants to trap and where it wants to go. And you've got to be willing to look both ways right now. Can I mark out the imbalance that I saw in the 90s? Well, it's gone now. It's right here. You see this? This buy side imbalance. It's off footprint. It's not off a fair value gap or something. I guess you could say it was here on a fair value gap, right? But the actual imbalance is I'm getting off footprint right there. Okay, back down to this value area again. Again, everything under 70s has been sellers getting stuck. It's been passive buying from 70s down to low of day so far. So it's been bids just sat there absorbing the tape so far. And it's been aggressive sellers being absorbed. So we are having buyers down there trying to have a bit of a party. And you'll see it on the CVD. If you look at the CVD right now, we've been trying to make lower lows and we're not moving lower in price. So we've got price divergence in CVD. We've got aggressive sellers trying to move price lower. There's a new lower low on CVD there, and we are not moving lower in this market. So there's, without a doubt, passive buyers down here at 70 down to 40s. We can see it on CVD. You can see it on the book. I can copy trading my account. I was able to flatten all my prop firms, but I was using sim account as lead and I cannot get to close it. Any thoughts? Is it I don't know where the sim's linked to, mate. Is it a like sim on a broker? Is it a Ninja sim, or is it a sim from like Apex or something? You should be able to just shut down your system, reload it, and then reset your sim, and it shouldn't do anything. Hopefully, it's always a worry. ICT made a video and he's talking about me. Is that right? Well, I couldn't give a fuck what ICT says. He can go back into his little dungeon of bullshit. Okay, news incoming. Book starting to really thin out here. They're still passively buying these 70s and below. Just joined any trades today. You were here this morning. That means you were here and then left JSource. Yes, 2 trades. We took the short from the grey box to the bottom, and we took the long from this blue line to the grey box and above. Alex, I'm on Ninja Sim. What YouTube of yours should I watch to set up my charts? I've literally got a video on for free on YouTube on how to set up Ninja my way. So I don't know what it's called, but if you just type in Flow Zone Trader Ninja Trader, it will come up. All right, book really thinning out here. Print coming here, folks. 10 seconds. Whippy, whippy, whippy. There we go. There's the drive up. Trapping bulls there into the 20s again. Whippy, 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 whippy. Whippy, whippy, whippy. Whoa, look at this. What are you doing, Mr. Market? It feels like it wants to move back up through the 20s and 30s and get back up to high of day, but they can't get through this node we talked about up here. So there's selling up here and there's buying down here. And we just trap between them. Oh, can we make a move out of this volume, please, market? Pretty please. I don't really want to trade from 70 to 20 all day. 50 points. It's can't do a lot with that. So back down we come. Value area low. Do they get caught down there? No idea. Have to see if we can move outside of this. Still absorbing down here. These 70s and below that we've talked about. Still finding passive buyers. If these passive buyers get run over, then we should make a new low of day here. But they're still bidding on this book down here at the moment. So they're bidding 70s again. And they're selling 20s. That's all we're seeing so far. There we go, driving back up. So they bid 70s again. I'm still waiting to see, can we get through 20s and 30s? It's the same thing, folks. I've given you the same levels. Same thing over and over and over again. Can we get through? If we get through 20s and 30s, we should lift to 43, which is the New York Open. If we get through that, I think we go high of day and previous week point of control up here. So we're still looking at the same thing, but we've got to get through all this first. So passive selling is taking place here. Passive buying is taking place here. And this is the rotation. Back to POC. They got a bid off these now, these 600s, if the buyers are going to take control and have a go. So they've just washed out a little bit down here. They've got levels on the book at 40s. They should go and aim up here. They just need someone a bit more aggressive to come onto the book rather than just like sitting back. So laissez-faire. They need someone aggressive to step on the book here. One big buyer will do it and it'll just swipe all of this out. They're trying. They just need to lift these 20s and 30s. Take these guys out. Seller at 20s. They got to get through him and they'll run straight to 40s, I think. There's a 20-point shove up here if they can get through this guy that keeps reloading 20s. Now he's moved to 15s, back to 20s. See if they can shove up here. Come on. You should go straight to 40s now. There we go. There's the 30s. You've got to get through this and we'll run 40s pretty quick, I think. 35 on a book. Let's get through this guy at 30 and then shove to 40s up to that New York Open we talked about. And let's see if we bid over that. Really nice. Lovely. Come on. You've got more than that. Come on, weak hands. Come on, you weak hands. Head on brick wall. Please don't do the same rotation again. Please. Please, we all know Alex hates rotation. Let's not spend the first day of year with volume of rotating in a 50-point range. Let's go, market. Come on. Come on. Just get through this little edge. You can see this edge here. You can see it right here, this flat edge. This is what they keep defending. Once this goes, I think we get a swipe. This right here. This little node. All right, once this goes, we should swipe this, and then this will be target. And these stops will get us to this. This will get us to this. This will get us to this. Here we go. Thank God for that. Thought I was going to go crazy. Right, here comes New York Open. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, buyers. Wakey, wakey. I know you've had lots of whiskey at the weekend, but wakey, wakey. Come on, Mr. Buyer. Let's shove it up through the New York Open, please. Yes, trying to make new high day here. Some buyers getting caught here at 35s. Just want follow through now. We need a squeeze up here. We actually need a squeeze up here. Otherwise, we're going to get pulled right back in. Here's the New York Open tag. It's a TP here. There you go. That's what I'm saying. Need a squeeze up. Otherwise, we're going to get pulled back into that value area high. So your TP1 was here. Let's see if we can get TP2. All right. The danger here is that they sell back under here. We don't want to touch this. Bulls need to do this move here now. Or technically, they need to do this move here now. Really good. ES new high of day. You can watch those 950s, that whole number on ES. 88s like we talked about on SPY. Remember we talked about the 88s. Once you get through 88s, we're looking at 90s. Come on, Qs, find a bid, man. Don't be like chasing up here. You're either already long or you need a little breakout above and a pullback. Don't be chasing the bid up here. What's with the sunglasses? And I've got a massive migraine. That's what's with the sunglasses. Not for any other reason. I wish it was sunny in LA. It's been raining. Here we go. Back to value area high. So they've got to rebid this now. If they don't rebid this, we're going to go back inside the range. So you need longs to rebid this now for a squeeze out. We just talked about this. Got to hold this at level here. If they don't hold this, we're going to go back in rotation. There's nothing to do. So buyers have really got to hold this pullback here and do this. If they lose this, we're going to go back in rotation, and I don't want to trade in here. This is my no trade zone now. All right, it's my no trade zone. For you that like range rotations, that's your trade zone. For me, it's my no trade zone. -2 in London, is it really? Oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot how cold that feels. They're trying to bid value area high. Yes, back to New York VWAP and see if it bids that old high. So I can show you my board here, right? Adding a little bit more. There you go. Thanks, you guys always moan. Like I said, just trading one at a time because I'm really not feeling well. No, you're fine, Tommy. You're fine, Tommy. It's okay, mate. Don't worry. What chart are you looking at? Sorry, I'm just watching on my monitor as well. This is a 1 minute chart on NQ. Yeah, so I'm always on NQ. If I'm on something else, I will tell you. I have to give you a reason. Yeah, so you can see, I'm going to show you the delta divergence here that played out this morning that we talked about. If we go down to 5 minute chart, really easy to see it on. All right, as we were starting to pivot up, all right, there were no lower lows. We had lower lows in CVD. All right, so what does that mean? It meant there were aggressive sellers down here being absorbed by passive buyers, which what gave me the edge to look for upside. All right, those of you who have done the order flow course will know all about that. And if you couldn't see it on CVD, you could literally, quite literally see it on the Bookmap by using delta. You have heating on, it's still cold. Ugh. And I'm sure that heating is going to cost you a fortune if you're in the UK. They're still holding this value area high. They're still trying to hold these 20s here for a squeeze up higher. They want to get a squeeze up higher. They've got to get through this New York Open. I've given you the pathing about 10 times today for you guys who are looking for this. So if they hold value area high, you've got to get back through the New York Open. You've got to bid over the New York Open up to the high of day. If you get through high of day, here you go. Here's a bid over New York Open. Can we keep seeing follow through over this now to come and take out high of day and then get up into this? All right, so this is your target. It's looking good. So you held the shelf. You're into New York Open. Can you hold this and use these stops to get into here? All right. What's the weather temp in LA? I'll have a look for you. It's raining though. It's 57 today. Looking good here. It's just this, once this guy gets out of the way at 55s, you're going to go 70. They just keep reloading 55s. There you go. 50s and 55s coming, and then you should go 70 here for your next move. You got to get through these 50s and 55s. Come on, market. Interesting, mate, about your migraine. I'm in Canada, and my whole family has a headache since Saturday night. Best theory we have is maybe full moon. Maybe. I think mine's stress, if I'm honest. Nervous system is absolutely shot right now, I'll be honest with you guys. No, the course discount finished, I'm afraid, my friend. You can use code FCT. I think that will get you 10% off. I might just be on the main course, but yeah, we ran many discounts over both the holidays, but they're all finished now, I'm afraid, buddy. But you can try code FCT. It might get you 10% off if you're lucky. I genuinely don't know because I haven't talked to my web developer about what's what's still running and what's not. That's not me trying to say I don't like. I just don't know. I'd have to talk to my developer. But you can try it. 20 up, 20 down kind of day, sadly. Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it? I still think we've got a chance here, though. It's just, it all depends on this New York Open. Can they bid back above? Value area high now sitting at 25s. So are they able to squeeze above, or is this a look above value and a fail? We are stuck at this New York Open, though, this blue line. So that was your TP1. It's just, can we see further development above it? Slow, isn't it? It's slow. Microsoft and Apple trying to go red to green here, though, folks. Look at those high beta names. RGTI, MVTS, IONQ, IREN. Crazy. Good day traders. If I was day trading, I'd be looking to day trade those every day. But with my stocks and ETFs, I'm looking for swing positions. And there's just too much volatility in those. Okay, back to value area high. They're still trying to bid off it. If they lose the bid, though, we go back to VPOC, which is 600s again. But they're still trying to bid off this. Got in at 16 and out at 40. Not a bad day. That's nice work. Where's the 16s? Got in at 16. So you just took here to here. There you go. So you took the shelf to the open, and you probably had runners in case, and it hasn't gone. I mean, honestly, guys, I think any money you lock in, I'll show you guys what I shared with the team this morning. I think we talked about the need to lock in. Where do we talk about it? I don't know. I'm sure I had it somewhere. I'm sure I said, lock your money in. Maybe I just can't read right now. There you go. Be nimble, see money, take money Monday. There you go. I knew I had it somewhere. Oh. All right, still stuck at this open. Shows invalid code, yeah. FZT, not FCT. Flow Zone Trader, FZT. If it's going to work, that's what will work. Okay, back to this New York Open. They're still trying to find acceptance above this New York Open and search for the high of day. That's what they are attempting to do here. Once we get through high of day, like I said, if we run these stops, we should come into this block up here. That's what they're attempting to do here. So any of you who are still long, you might be getting it here. They're trying to build up to go. Just every push up here into 55 spin. So it's so thin on the book. It's insane. Where is Mr. Volume? Is he going to come back today? Back to value area high again here. This is not a good look here, folks, because you've just pushed and failed. Vic's trying to find a bid as well. Not able to get up to that high of day yet, and now you're back to value area high. If you lose value area high, you're going to go VPOC. They're still bidding value area high. These rotations are tiny. Back to the New York Open. Shelf again, same shelf. Back on that last push again. They're having another go. It's now or never for the Bulls, I would say. If they can't get back through 50, then they're in trouble. If they get back through 50, you're going to run high of day, I think. And it's the last attempt that they've got. They've just held VPOC another time after a failed look. Look, all this liquidity above. They should come for it. They should really be gagging to get up into 80s now. Here they go. Wakey, wakey, Mr. Bulls. Where are you? Let's go into 80s. And if you run 80s, you should go 700s. You should run the stops there to get into this level up here. So once you get through here, there should be enough stops to get you into that. So if you're long from these, any of these, you should be trimming, and then holding on just in case they want to come all the way up here, which would be really nice for you guys. Right. I'm not in a position, so I want to be transparent about that. But if you can base and go, it'd be nice for you guys. You don't want it to come back under value though. If you start losing this shelf here, right? You've had so many attempts. What you don't want to see is that, and that will happen if you start losing that shelf. So you want bulls to actually be a bit more aggressive and step on the tape. When I say step on the tape, I mean be aggressive and run through all the offers above. Like run, if you can look at Bookmap, run through these offers above, right? We should come and someone needs to be aggressive. These passive buyers need to step up and push this price up aggressively to fill these guys, which will cause a cascade effect up into 700 because they will all get run out of the market. And that's what you need to see. You need to see big green bubbles start to step in here rather than just nothing on the book. There's no passive participation here. So you need a big aggressive player to come in and get the job done for you. Shouldn't be that hard to take a 28 lot out. That's how lacking volume we are. Remember, smash that like button for me, folks. I want to do an Apex giveaway today. I'm going to do a competition as well. We're going to do another Funded Next giveaway this month. At least one, maybe two Funded Next giveaways. And we're going to do a Lucid giveaway as well. So starting to get some more stuff for you guys, which is fantastic. Yeah, I would agree, mate. I would agree. It is making heavy weather it. It is. We're not seeing anyone step aggressively on the tape. Someone keeps reloading, selling at 60s. So we had some decent size buying up there on that last shove, just over 100 lot from sort of 57 to 60s. So it's like a bit of an outlier delta there. Once we get through that, there you go, through 60s. Now we should lift to 70s. We don't want to see him resell this. We need to reclaim 60s, push 70s here now, because you've got some outlying aggressive buying coming in here. You don't want them to get stuck versus passive selling. You just want one clean snap that you can exit your position long on, or at least trim it. Feels like it's coming, but it's felt that way for, I'd say, 15 minutes. They've been building to do this. So you can see them stacking 67 and 70s right now. We should just lift and get through there. Here we go. That I don't like. There was a big buyer came in there and got stuck. So there is a seller around 62 reloading. Let me pull this down. Where are you? There he is. Yeah, I don't like that. They had the chance there. I don't think that's true. I don't think all of this is due to Venezuela. I think if you just zoom out on a daily, then you'll see this is what we expect. So back down to this shelf now. You can see the edge of these grey shelves where this New York Open is. All right, so you've got a clear shelf here, here, and here. And if bulls don't absorb and complete, they will get trapped and you get a move like that. They've got to absorb these shelves because they've made hard work moving up. And if we look now, starting to transition to aggressive selling up here. We should run these guys out now. Here we go. Come on. Why are you making it so hard? Correct. It is just oil related. Well, oil and gold. Both reserves. And they've got the biggest reserves of both of those in the world. Up 750 on the funded. Might call it a day. Too choppy, yeah. It's decent day. Fixed that back down to low of day, which is giving you a nice potential here. Back down to that shelf we just talked about. New York Open again. You don't want them to lose this. If you've been long in this, do not sit in this too long. If they can't complete the rotation, be willing to take it off and come back in later. You don't want to hold through a flush. Yeah, I see that. Why I'm up. It's just it's a broadening market, like as in sector, which is not a bad thing. I have 3 Apex accounts right now at 103.13, but I don't understand. Do I have to check the net liquidation or the cash value? Yeah, the liquidation. You're not just you'll realize after costs. So if you're at 106, you're fine. You'll get an email after today, after the close, like within an hour or two afterwards. Gosh, this is slow. I didn't think we'd be this slow today, to be honest. Did any of you buy out of interest? I know lots of you bought this, as did I. Did any of you buy and hold on to it? Or any of you still in this, looking to complete this rotation? It's a really good hold if you are. I think you're going to get it. It's a really good hold. I think you're going to get 700s up into here. I have a full-time job, but my days off I listen to you. Make so much sense. You've taught me plenty. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, man. No worries. Lucid might have the best deals out. Yeah, I talked about it at the beginning. I think it's 35% off the 25 and 30Ks and 30% off the rest right now. Code FCT. You're in. Nice, man. Tyson, great work, mate. Great work. Full forward still have 5 micros. Yeah, I think you're going to get it. They're going to try and run. Big seller coming in here. If you squeeze him out, you will get the move. He just market sold 60. They're starting to panic now, these sellers. They are starting to panic. They know this high is about to get popped. So they're starting to add more weight here. If they get run out, it's going to be nasty. That was a big sell there. 89 lot came flying in on the market at 60, right on 60. Come on, lift this guy out and make him run his stops. Come on, buyers. Be kind to the team here. Come on, you got to get a squeeze. His average is at 60. He came right in at 60 with 100 lot. Come on, get back above 60. Fuck me, it's slow. Huge lot coming in. Oh, big seller coming in here. He's chasing the market down. Got to be the same guy. So 100 lot followed by, what is this size here? 26, 26, 26, 26, 26. So he's dumping 25s at a time, and then another 100 and another 50. You got to get back above 60 for this to be valid now. I wouldn't rebid down here anymore. It just had its chance. So we had a huge market seller come in at 60. All right, 100 lot came on at 60, and I said, if you get above him, you should be all right. They had him trapped, and they failed, and then he has chased it down with size. So you got to get back above 60 here. If you get back above 60, all these sellers will get caught out. I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, these guys came flying, or I'm going to call it this one guy, came flying in. This was his 100 lot that I talked about. See if I can make you guys see it. This was his 100 lot. All right, and then after that, once we broke down under this shelf, he came flying in market side. If you get back above 60, he will get squeezed out. Even, yeah, you're coming into it now. So ideally, this guy gets run. All right, so all these guys, but mainly I'd be watching this guy here. This is the guy setting the tone right now. This will be the same guy adding in. You'll get back above 60. Same level, see? Coming in at the same level. We can probably see him here. All right, look at this transition. He came in here. Added heavy here. Added the lows. We rebalanced his level, 60. This is the battle now in here. If you get above 60, you'll be all right. But I would not be adding any more to your position here. You do not want to be adding to this now. Here you go. Here's 60. Here's the battle. They are adding more and more liquidity above, which is good. You just got to get through it. Someone doesn't want to get hurt here. Someone's like, please don't run me out. Here you go. If you run him, you should do it. You go higher day, point of control. It's coming. Fuck me, they've made this hard work for you guys. If you've managed to hold on to this, I think you've done incredibly well. You've been incredibly patient if you've hung on to this. And these were your buy opportunities, even above here. This has made it very, very hard, but you're about to run this, and this should get you up into this shelf. Right, here you go. Fuck me, they made that hard. Congratulations, everyone who took that. There's your next TP. Let's see if you can get into grey box above. And previous week point and control, I have around 700, 705. All right, good work. Good work, team. Really good work, anyone that's still in this. You look fantastic now. Buyers, starting to step on the gas. You should lift now into that 700. Really good. This is what we looked for this morning. I was a bit too impatient for it. Really nice. God, that player at 600 made it incredibly hard work. Incredibly hard work. So 85s, 95s, 700. What I will tell you is 78 has offside delta. 78 is 352 buy side delta. So you want to be bidding above 78. As in, you want the market, you shouldn't be bidding. You want the market to hold a bid above 78. The same as we talked about 60s, it's now 78. You need to get above to allow the buyers to be comfortable because they came in aggressively there. But you should have been selling some of your positions here. W trade, nice. Still holding. I lost 20% of my hair, but I'm out at 684. Nice work. Low hanging fruit W. Dodler W, F for oh, I'm not going to repeat that. 20 up, 20 down. It's one of those days, mate. We talked about it. I was in it, but it was difficult to hold through all of that. I'm flat. Good work, though, mate. We're in the golden pocket now. Let's see if someone will come. Well, I think we're going to have to lift a little bit more and then see if someone will come. I think they're going to want to test this grey box and point of control. But I could easily be wrong. Maybe they slap it before that. But that would be my expectation. New highs a day. ES running. Mag's found a bid, right? Every mag is now green other than Apple, so that's all finding a bid. Ray, you are something, my friend. Totally impressed. Is this your first time with me, Ray? You're just joining me for the first time. Welcome, if you are. Welcome. The longer you're with me here, mate, the more it will all make sense and you'll start to see what I'm looking at. Dodler, first time here, nice. Yeah, all those first timers, welcome. If you're wondering what is on your screen right now, all right, I trade order flow, but I use my flow zones and key levels. All right, so if you're interested, there's a ton of free education on my YouTube. Start there. If you're new to the stream, you're probably thinking, what am I looking at on the chart? Start on the free education on my YouTube. And if you like that and you want to learn more, there are links down below to the 20-hour course and the volume and order flow course. Oh, got you. My bad, Ray. Yeah, initial balance. Thank you, Tyson. IB now set. So high of day, IB, purple line on the screen, initial balance. So what can we think about here? Well, if we're going to get a trend day, we're going to have to find acceptance above initial balance and probably above this grey box. If we're going to get an IB rotation day, it's very possible we do something like this and come back down, all right? So be aware of failed breakouts today, all right? If we can get through this huge chunk here, we do have this looming all the way up here at 800s. All right? Anyone who read the newsletter, these are the same levels, all right? These are the levels from the newsletter, the rotational points. I will remind you, we are still an inside day. All right, we're still inside of Friday. We're still inside of the previous week. We are still inside of the previous week's value, but we are moving daily value higher. We are trying to find acceptance of daily value higher. Boom. Here we go, folks. Here comes the lift. All right, so you should get this full TP. We should get into this grey box and previous week point and control. I would say hold. Even if you're able to hold 1 micro in case you get all the way up here and you can, if you get an expansion, right? If you get an expansion candle, something like that, just move your stop into here. You never know, just in case they do this move for you, because even 1 micro, that's an extra $200 per account for you, all right? Alex, I want to thank you for your daily reminder of discipline. Happy New Year, buddy. Happy New Year to you, my friend. So at the end of the day, with my opinion about your methodology, is it all about liquidity and identifying value? Yeah, well, all the market's ever doing is looking to identify value, because that's all any market does, right? It's looking to see where buyers and sellers most agree on price. And then if there's an imbalance, if we have more buyers than sellers, we're going to move up. If we have more sellers than buyers, we're going to move down and search for a new level of value. It's of my opinion that when we're searching for value, we are going to run stops. NQ especially is an absolute liquidity whore, right? It wants to run for stops. So that's what we do. We are always in 2 phases of a market. We are either building liquidity when we're in contraction, which is arguably what we're in at the moment, right? Where we're squeezing tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and we compress more and more and more volume. And at some point, we're going to run stops, at least one side of that, if not both. And if we go into an expansion model or a trend model, then we're going to look for the next block of liquidity to go and attack into. And that's all it is. So all we're doing as day traders when we're trading futures is the same as you do on swing, but you're having to be, a little bit more precise and a little bit more focused in, because the rotations like you've seen today can happen 5, 10 points or 20-point rotations. Whereas if you're like a set and forget on the whole swing, right, then we can look for things like holding above previous day's value area high, holding a bid at previous week value area low, trying to complete the rotation to the naked point of control, all right, early in the session. Okay, we get up there, fantastic, job's done. Maybe then they sell back down. If they don't and they want to rebid it, then we're going to come and test the other side. And I would expect it to fail here, and if we don't fail there, then fantastic, it means we're going to auction up, and we just look for the next level higher and the next level higher. That's all we do. So what I ask myself every day is, where are the key levels, right? Where do I want to trade around? So for me, that comes down to location. And the next thing I ask myself is, who's in control? What is the momentum? That's kind of it. Grinding its way slowly. It is. That's exactly what it's doing. Grinding its way slowly. We came right into the edge of this grey box. Look, we're right into the edge of this grey box. I'd love them to come and tap this. I think this is accurate. I mean, according to TradingView, it's accurate. Who knows? Maybe Ninja has it somewhere else. But it's here or hereabouts, right? This grey box is point of control. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here. But this is where I have the exact line. But that's why I put this grey box out here. Momentum trader, it's reversing from here. I mean, it can get stuck up here. I've not seen enough yet to say that it's done, but it's an area where they might want to sell from. I would not deny that. That's why we have it marked out. But just remember how you've built liquidity on the way up. So you're going to need it to. If I was going to be in a sell, right, I would want a failed breakout with some, exposure of buyers caught up at the highs and then a move back down. This flat top here, we can have a look how much buying was in there. It's a decent amount. There's a decent amount. The excess, let's have a look on my other screen. We have a little excess into 90. I wouldn't say it's the biggest, but it's okay. And we're seeing that transition from buy side to sell side. I'd rather it comes, it has one more shove up. But we've built lots of liquidity to run, right? And what we'd really like is like something like a big shelf developed here. So if we have something like this developed here, right, and we get above it and we see buyers come flying in and then we get stuck under that shelf, well, under that shelf would be here, wouldn't it? Then we can look for a sell and it'd be TP1, TP2, TP3. Might well be that it fades from here, but you have to respect all these levels that we've built out. This node here is interesting. I'd rather it comes up higher, like I said, one more shove and then build out a shelf and then use all those late buyers to go lower. Is the footprint on TradingView? That one I just showed you is, yes, it's on TradingView. At the moment, we're holding a buy side imbalance in 60. So if you remember where we had that big seller, he was at 60, right? Remember over here, I said there's a huge seller at 60. We need to get back above that. Once we got above him, we ran it. We have a buy side imbalance here that we're trying to hold. If we fail that, we're coming back to value. If they don't bid value, we will go rotation. If they bid value, they've still got a shot. We're walking value up, remember. It's the first time I've seen failed follow through up there. I don't like the high, but it is the first time we've seen failed follow through. I wouldn't say that high is the best in terms of excess. I think ES's one looks much better. Yeah, I agree, Peter. Like the volume is so low. I was expecting it to like come back on and turn on today. It's very low. Very low. All right, folks. You emailed last week. Info@FlowZoneTrader. Check my spam now. What's your email? Roscoe Man 2. I'm not seeing it, bud. Do you mind doing it again for me? I'm really sorry if I've missed that. I can't see it. I've just checked my spam and searched for you as well. Let me check. Actually, let me check here. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. My bad. I'm really sorry. It went to spam. It did go to spam. I see you. All right, I'm going to reply to you now, dude. Okay, they're still trying to hold value. You want to be careful if pushes start to fail here. All right, so they will try and buyers want to hold value and complete this move. If you see a push that fails and we come undervalue, this move here can collapse. I'm just going to reply to Rusco here. There you go, mate. Should be all sorted. Should be all sorted. Okay, I can finally announce it. Funded Next. They've just emailed me. I've been waiting to announce this for you guys. Have just added some new stuff for you guys. So they've added a 1-day pass for a bolt on. Okay, so it's going to be the most affordable and most flexible speed challenge that you can do. So you can pass this in 1 day. You can receive payouts the next day. It's available just for 50K challenges, and there's a limited time exclusive challenge. So it's $99 one-time fee. It removes the entry cost traditionally associated with it and gives you access to 50K, and you can add a no loss limit and a no consistency rule to that as well if you want to. So it's $99 right now. If you want it, no loss limit, no daily loss limit, $129. No consistency rule, $199. If you want both, it's $149. 1 day pass, just so that you guys are aware. I will stick it all on social later, but they messaged me about that a couple of weeks ago, and it's finally just gone live by the looks of it. Okay, so getting stuck, like we just talked about, at this shelf. All right, we've developed a bit of a shelf up here that buyers are not able to get acceptance back above right now. We're starting to see that potential rotation back down to VWAP off the IB trade. It is possible. I'm still a little bit iffy on it yet, if I'm honest. Just because we've moved POC up, everything's moving up. I just would like to see it trade into here first. I really would like to see it trade into here first. Just one more push. You sent an email of the free indicator. Okay, I'll get on, guys. I'll get on all those later. I'll apologize to you. I've been away from my desk. I haven't had a good weekend. I've got a massive migraine. I'm doing my best to be here. It's why I've got sunglasses on. It's not to look cool. I'm sure I look like a bit of a dick right now, but I wanted to be here for you guys. I promise. Once we're done on stream, I will get on top of all the emails. Anyone that's emailed, anything I've missed, I promise I'll get on top of it. All right. What levels are the downside and how to find them if you can, Alex? What if you're looking for a downside? So if you're in a balance day, if we're going to fail initial balance, if you're going to reject this shelf and come under here, you can look for this shelf and VWAP. So I'd be looking for the 20s. If you're fading this, I'd be, first of all, I'm looking for 40s. Acceptance under 40s, 20s. Acceptance under that, back down into the 600s again. Acceptance under that, value area low on the day, down here, 84s. And you don't think about anything beyond that unless you're going to find acceptance under previous day's value. All right. At the moment, we're not seeing that. At the moment, we're getting this. All right. So we've come from one side, grind up to the other side. If we don't find acceptance up here, we're going to come back down to this side maybe, or the midpoint, try back up again. We can do this all day until one side wins. I would have really liked it to come and tag this, either this morning or here. But yes, I saw someone say maybe Tyson's trade setting up. For those of you who don't know, Tyson's trade is this purple line to this green line. And it is absolutely starting to work out that we are rejecting this shelf. I would have just liked a bit more excess. If we had excess like this up here, this would look really good. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, I wish that's what it was, JD. Have I been watching the Blues Brothers? I haven't. I absolutely love that, though. Here's a question for chat. This will show how old are you. Which is your favourite Blues Brothers film, though? The original with Twiggy and Scatman and Aretha, or the 2000 remake? Original. Original's so good, isn't it? The longest car chase known to man. So good. I love that film so much. Definitely showing our age. Like if you're a young gun in here, you're like, what is the Blues Brothers? Well, if you like blues music, go and watch it. Some of the all-time greats are in it. Incredible musical film. And I don't like musicals, but that is a top 10 film. Yeah, like I said, I don't like the short yet. Like, you're getting that trade from here to here. For me personally, I don't really like. All it is, folks, is that we don't have excess up here. Right? That's all I don't like. What I like to see is a nice big bullish candle up here with tons of buyers trapped in, and then seeing the transition. We did have buying in here and we saw a transition. There is no doubt about it. And we held this imbalance. Like, sellers are in control here, but it just feels like nothing more than a pullback to fill some imbalance. And yeah, I'm not sure yet. It doesn't feel high. How can I put this? It doesn't feel high probability to me when there's a low hanging fruit above without excess. It looks pretty good on ES, I would say. But bulls are still in control. If you moved to like a 5-minute chart, do I have it on here? You will see that bulls are still in control. Can we move this off? There we go. It's a bit better. I'm a bit worried I'm going to have to take this IWC in for a service, and I've only had it 18 months. One of the pins in this is loose, and I'm worried I'm going to wear it one day, and it's suddenly I'm going to look down and it's not on my wrist. I wonder if I can bang that in. Sellers need to get below the New York Open. Yeah, I would agree with that. This fucking strap on the IWC, honestly, it's a ridiculously expensive watch. And I bought it just before they brought out the new strap and clasp. And I think the new strap and clasp, I don't think they sell the new clasp. I think I have to get the new strap and clasp, which is like fucking $1,800 or something stupid. Because they have a design fault. It's so dumb. Me ranting, I'm sorry. There we go, that sounded better. Yeah, that's loose. I'm going to have to take this in. For fuck's sake, man. It should be in warranty at least. No, I'm English. I'm not Aussie, not Aussie, mate. We're trading in Q. I'm English, bruv. Tiny drop of nail varnish will stop it walking out. Oh, thanks, man. I'll give that a go. Market's asleep. Market feels asleep. I'll give you a readout on the mag. Tesla 3.91% up. Nvidia a third of a percent up. Microsoft 0.20% down. Meta 1.43% down. Google 0.73% down. Meta 1.47% up. Google 0.71% up. Amazon 2.5% up. Apple 2/3% down. Broader names like AMD's up 0.75%. Why is Oscar Health found a 10% bid? What's gone on there? I fucking cut that last year. Let me have a look at some of these. Sorry, folks. I just want to. You scum. What are you doing? Mate, do I take a position on that? What's that gain there? 200%. Oh man, it's fucking tempting. That is tempting. Give it this week to develop. Yeah, they all like it. Put that on the watch list again. Sorry, folks, talking to myself here. Yeah, right. It's just dead. Market's dead. Soccer fan? What, football fan, you mean? Yeah, Arsenal fan, mate. Top of the league. Vintage watch parts. Oh, it's not vintage. It's new. It's like 18 months old. It's new. I can probably take it in for a repair. It's just annoying. LLY, what's that? Eli and Lilly. Jesus. Been on a mad run, isn't it? Mad run. That thing is just a fucking beast, honestly. Look at that. Jeez. Absolute machine. I don't really want... That pivot's good. I don't know. I'm too stingy for that. I think healthcare's due like a lift and bump. Here we go. So they're finding a bid here. They want to come back for this if they can. See if they lift up and go for it, or if we see failed follow through to this shelf again. So this shelf here is what's holding price. This is your over-under. If you're short, this is your over-under. Like, you need this to hold. That grey box. They did just try and aggressively buy that and get hit. So there's passive sellers sitting in that grey box right now. And you can see them on the book at 70. My issue would be if they lift through that, you are going to go 700. Right? If they get through that grey box, I don't think you want to sit through this short. So if you took this short here or this short here, you should be covering some and looking for continuation. If you see this, you want to be out. Don't risk Hive Day because it's more likely we're going to take out the POC at that point. So sit in what you've got, but don't be stubborn. Someone's playing games on the tape now, and you've got a buyer just running away. Cut-off time, I think it's midnight East Coast time tomorrow, I think. Premier League champs this year? I bloody well hope so. What are we now? 7 points clear? 6 points clear? I hope so. Do I use market or limit orders? Limit orders to get in wherever possible. If I can get on a pullback, I'm using limits. If I'm forced to take a break above a candle and I know that it's still good RR, I will mark it in. I will add. Normally, I'll limit in my first position. I'll add on a market because it means it's going in my way. I will exit with limits at key levels, but I will drag my limits down. If I feel like I'm not getting filled, I will drag my limit down. So, for example, if I was long, right, and I had a limit up there and I was long from down here and I saw this not coming, I will drag that limit there to get filled, basically on a market fill, or I'll just drag it below it so I get a quick fill. But I always have my limits staggered where I want. So maybe I had a limit here, a limit here, and a limit above. And let's say I was long down here. So we hit that one, we missed this. I can drag my limit below and get filled on one of them. And maybe I have one left with an entry price of there, for example. I'm not in a position now. I want to make that clear. Yeah, I saw United have sacked him. I mean, here's a bigger question. Who they're going to replace him with? You just spent all your fucking money on a load of shit players and they've sacked your shit coach. No one wants to go to that club. Like, obviously I hate United, but I actually want them to be half decent. I think it's healthy for English football. This looks like it wants to lift. They are getting aggressive here, up here into 60s. ES trying to do a flag break as well. Yes, I do use a ATM strategy, yeah. Do I have a minimum RR? Not really. Like, I look for, honestly, the way I trade, it's more about high probability. Do I think we're going to go to a level? Like, I don't really like trading negatively. It's not something I'd ever look for. I know lots of other people do, but the more you tune in here, you'll see that I'm normally looking for 50 to 100 point trades because I think NQ most of the time will make those available. So even if you think about what we got today, what was our RR today? So we were short in here for this move down into here, and we would have been risking the top of this volume. So it's like a 5R there if you want to do it our ways, and then the other way around, we were playing dip longs and adding into them. So our average did move, but dip longs back up to here, and we were adding over 600s, remember, as well. And some of you are still in it. I'm not in it anymore. And this is your new shelf between this grey box. You can see this grey box acting as resistance and this box here acting as support. These are your rotations, basically 50s to 70s, 20-point rotations right now. You're not seeing follow through though. So sellers still defending, passive sellers are in here. You have seen aggressive buying in here and we're not seeing follow through. How do I know? We can literally see it. All right, look at these guys here. These players here, aggressively buying 91 lot, 88 lot, 190 lot, 92 lot, and we're not moving higher because this seller here is passively absorbing the tape. Okay, so that's the rotation that we're seeing at the moment. I haven't taken a trade for a while now because I think we want to come up into this area, but this is not a good area to buy. The best area to buy was those value area lows that we talked about earlier. Praying for Southgate or Southgate to United. Not a bad idea. I think he'd scrap most of your team, though. What do I think of Barca? I've not really watched them much this season, if I'm honest. This may be silly, but every time I buy or sell a limit doesn't set where I put it. It buys like it's a market order. Any suggestions? What are you executing on, Otis? Celtic are fucking stupid. Like, you can't believe... My buddy Glenn was telling me about that the weekend. They had that awful start. They put Martin O'Neill in. He absolutely does an unbelievable job, and then they get rid of him. And then go on like, what, a 12-game losing streak, and now have replaced him again. So fucking dumb. So dumb. Like, he was doing a good job as interim manager. Should have just let him take the job. He wanted the job. Just let him keep the job. Embarrassing. They lost to, who did they lose to at the weekend? Was it Rangers at home? I was trading a 50k Apex, full Apex account today. Can you explain the rules in the 3k profit goal? Can I hit it in one trade? Yeah, you can hit it in one trade. No worries. Swing for Tammy, yes. In swing positions, yeah. Not really day trading. Used to, but my brain honestly can't handle doing this, doing it live, teaching on Discord, running the mentorship and course program, and trading stocks as day positions. But what I do have the capacity to do with my brain is take swing positions because it doesn't require as much management. Trading view, Otis. I'm not sure then, Otis. You should be able to like right click and be like buy limit. Oh, my one's not doing it at all. Buy. Right. You should be able to set a limit where you want it and drag it. Just make sure when you. I don't know why I can't do this. Hang on. Let's log into Sim. Right. Well, let me do it now. There we go. Okay, you should be able to be like. Is that market only? Here you go. You should be able to set your limit here. So maybe you're on the wrong one. So you should be able to set your limit there with what you want, and you can add your stop loss and take profit. If you're trading via Tradeify, that might be slightly different. I don't execute on TradingView, so I can't fully tell you. I'm really sorry, but you should be able to set a limit. I'm not sure why that's gone wrong for you. I got here late, currently on the West Coast. Could I recap the trade entries and reasons? Yes, I can make it really simple because we went over it in here first. Okay, so we were talking about, we were in developing a wedge, all right, and we can notice this volume node here. If I zoom this in, this volume node here is 600s. So if we found acceptance above 600s, we were looking for a squeeze out to 700s. I also said you have to be very careful of a look above and fail. Where do I draw? So these are the moves I drew out this morning, and that was then followed by watch the edges remain flexible. There is a shelf at 600. So those whole numbers are pretty nice over under levels today. Hold 500, test 600, hold 700. But be aware, that should say, of a look above and fail of each level. So if we go back into what we saw this morning, right, the opening drive, we had the shelf at 600. All right, so opening drive, I left this alone. I was hoping they would squeeze out to here and I would think about that short back down to test this. We didn't make it. All right, and where I got involved is this, and this, and then I started playing short here for the completion of the rotation back down to where previous day value area high, previous week value area low. So the first trade was short the old volume shelf with a look above and fail, like we talked about in Discord. This moved down to here. Once we got down to there, I was waiting to see if we put in a higher low and we trapped sellers down here, which is what we do in this move here. So this is your cheap buy for the rotation back to New York. So if we look at what that looked like, you can see I've still got it highlighted. Right, we had sellers stuck in this move here. So once we pivot over that and we hold, I now know sellers under 560 are caught. We played long back up the other way. Those were the two trades. And what you're now looking to do, ideally, is complete this move if you're still long and holding to previous week point of control. This is why I said I still think we have unfinished business there. It doesn't have to do it. Volume's low, but 1, 2 leg, higher low, like in interim low. They are looking to complete this into here. The upside, so they're looking to trade 690s, 700, 705, 740s. Acceptance through 740s will get you back up to 800s, right? So those were the trades. We talked about it in pre-market show. We talked about it in Discord from early this morning, and then we executed on here. Hopefully that helps. No worries, Otis. I am Monday to Friday, Daryl, but I took Friday off. Well, I was going to take it completely off and have a long weekend because I thought we'd have a rubbish day and low volume. It ended up being a really good day. So I was a bit devastated that I missed that morning. So I came back in the afternoon and we traded long Friday afternoon because I missed the sell. So Friday afternoon, we traded this. All right, so this was an old naked point of control from the week, from like 3 weeks before. And we traded long back through here for this hourly move. So that H4, H1, so I can still remember it. See, this candle here is 2 hours, 2 o'clock, sorry. I traded this long up here. We got 100 points out of it. So we traded from what, 280 to 380. This was the move that we got in Discord. Anyone who got that with me in Discord can let you know. I know Adam Bowden got it with me. A few other guys got it with me. That's what we traded on Friday in Discord. Some of them held on to for acceptance higher. I didn't. I just took my 100 points and got off. And I'm sure some of you are going to be like, I don't believe you. So I should probably just go and find it, shouldn't I? Where did we have the old naked point of control? These are my entries. So where were we talking about it? Okay, here. So when I was first talking about it, 300 test, 315 key, and then we start getting long for that move upside, right? And I had 2 attempts. That was first attempt, and then I added and had a second attempt, and then on this one we ripped 100 points through all these levels. You can see like Nathan getting it with me, lots of guys getting it with me. There you go. All right. So that's the advantage of being Discord. Okay, you guys are all new. So Discord is for members only. You need to do the beginner to advanced course. It's all on my website. www.flowzonetrader.com. It's all there, folks. All right, everything's there. That will get you the 20-hour course, and Discord comes with that, as does one of the indicators. And then if you want to do a top up, if you want to do the volume and order flow course, you can do that separately. So Alonso, if you go in the course, as you get towards the back of the course, you can go and do that now if you want. Like cycle down to the last few modules. There is an email and it tells you what to do. It's not a paid thing. It's a pro thing. Sorry, one of you asking about volume footprint. You come to these candles. It's right here. Volume footprint. You can only do it if you pay for pro membership on TradingView. Okay, here we go, folks. So I think now you're probably going to get this move, right? So it's completing really a giant cup and handle. It's a bit of an ugly one, but there we go. It's trying to complete this, and this is its target. All right, so TP1, TP2, TP3, and runners for up there. Those of you who are still long. That's why I just didn't think, I didn't love the short. You would have heard me say it, like it can do it, but it's not something I love because we don't have enough excess up here. So I think we will want to run that, which is what you're starting to see. And I think this is the low-hanging fruit, is up into these sort of 700, 705s. Tyson in from 60, running, going. Nice, man. How much money do I get from YouTube? Fuck all, man. Between like 600 and 800 bucks a month, and those have been my best months, and that was only in the last month. But as you will notice, I stream without adverts on, right? So I could make a lot more. Well, I don't know if there's a lot more. I could make more, but it won't benefit you guys. It would be a pain in the ass for you guys. So what I'd do is I'd stream for free and I'd turn the adverts on afterwards. Okay, here you go, folks. So getting through these now. So you've just expanded higher day. We should try and get up into these sort of 700, 707s. You want to be selling a partial into this next push up into it, okay? Yeah, quite right. It's, and obviously I pay tax on that as well, right? So realistically, I'm making $300 out of YouTube each month. I mean, it's nothing. It's a nice little tickler, isn't it? Like, I don't know, what pays for a meal out each month. So, all that actually happens is I reinvest it into stuff. So that will pay for the guy that's doing like the thumbnails of my YouTube or whatever. All right, so you're getting some buying coming up here at 90s. Is a little bit caught right now, the buyer. There's a bit more excess, but I think you're still going to see one more shove up. I don't think it's finished yet. I think they're looking for one more shove up. We've got slight divergence. ES hasn't made a new high yet, but it is trying. It's tapping into its IB. And we should see one more shove up, but we have seen a new high in NQ and some excess above it for the first time. I think we're going to come into this grey box here, but you guys should be well positioned. Most of you, I assume, are either long from down here or long from the 600s, or maybe you reaccumulated this New York Open. Look at the importance of this New York Open, this blue line, right? We're bidding over New York Open, trying to complete this move. This move, right? Pull back one, pull back two. This is where we're trying to go. And please sell into this. Not all your position, but please take some profits, because we can definitely come up here and then get slammed. If you get really lucky, you're going to get a 100-point runner all the way up into 800. And I hope that happens for you. Oh, don't move that. I hope that happens for you. I hope you get 800, but you must take some profits into sevens. Okay, while this sets up, folks, and hopefully locking your money, I'm just going to use the bathroom, and then I'll be back, and I'd love to do a giveaway with you guys shortly when I get back. So if you guys can smash that like button, how are we doing? I want at least 450, 500 likes on this video. Okay. All right, so same levels, folks. Bulls now got to hold the new value area high and this shelf at 70s. All right, but this is, let's have a look at this excess. It's a little bit better. So I'd say buyers now are caught above 690s. All right, buyers are caught above 690s. Sellers control 690 to 685s. So buyers are caught above 690s. So if you are long, you should have taken profit, like I said, into this grey box. We talked about it, into this grey box. You should have locked most in. You'll need them to rebid here. All right, if they can't rebid there, or even if they do and they can't get back above 690s, you're going to see a rotation now. So you should be down to small size. New York Open, why does it need to hold above that? Okay, so let's think about this realistically. If you are a fund manager, all right, you are not necessarily dictating what you're buying and when you're buying. What you're told is like you need to buy 100,000 shares of Tesla at a market price of this, and we will give you a bonus if you buy X amount below VWAP, for example, for our clients. The easiest way to get massive size into the market is when there's high volatility. Why? Because most volume is traded there. So if you need to get big size in or out of the market, where's the chance to do it? It's going to be in the high volume areas, right? So this area here, we've got to think at that open, that is the level that all the cash players went, well, I'm long today. Fuck it, I'm long, right? Not the guys playing off key levels, the cash players, the market making cash players or the funds who are like, I'm long, and my job is to get long until we get here, or my job is to get long for the next 3 weeks until we get here, for example, right? So in terms of this level, it's a bit like a VWAP or a TWAP where they will keep rebidding it if they have more size to buy at that level. If their order was bid there and rebid here and rebid here and rebid here and rebid here and they've still got more to buy, they will keep buying it because that is the cash open. And for me, anyone who's watched my stuff on cash gaps and stuff like that, cash is king in this market or in any market. Okay, so look at the grey box. We just rebid off it. We literally just talked about that, didn't we? So rebidding off it. So this isn't crystal ball stuff, guys. This is like, you can see it happening right in front of you. And we talked about the 90s being the important level. The buyers got stuck at 90s. So if we fail to get back above 90s, if sellers hold 90s, you're going to rotate between 90s and that grey box. And if the grey box fails, we're going to come back down to point of control. And if we lose that, you get a bigger rotation. So those who joined me for weeks or months or even years will just be used to seeing the market move this way now. Scux Deluxe, Scux Deluxe, I think I said that right. Just missed your TP. What the upside? Yeah, I mean, missed final one. You might still get it, but like I said, you want to be very careful now. Buyers are caught above 90. Right, this is buyers being caught. So this needs to reclaim this and do this. If it does that, you're fine. But if you keep rejecting 90 and you do this, we can get a bit more of a collapse. All right, so that's what I'd be looking for. You need to, if you're still long, you've held this grey box. It's a good hold. Remember, you've accumulated here. Hopefully you've sold some into this. You've held that. You need to get back above 90. If you start losing this grey box, I would say don't touch it. Cut your position. Personally, is what I'd be looking for. Really, you want this to hold and go. This is my Flow Zone Pro. You can get this on the website. A version of it comes with the course. So everything you see here. You can see we probably went into a buy and a sell. Yeah, a few buys and sells once we went sideways, but then we've been in trend since. Right, just pro trend. Up here, high time frame. Trying to get bullish high time frame and lower time frame trying to join when we're above the waves. No, I draw those grey boxes. You would have just, if you rewind it, you would have just seen me draw it. They're just based on volume, all right? So I draw them based on volume. You see this shelf here? That's what it's based on. This shelf here, grey box. This shelf here is based on a shelf created last week. So if we look at, right, this shelf, right? So it's just where, remember, if you've got high volume, it's where we've found acceptance of price. It's where buyers and sellers are agreeing on price. So again, you want this to hold. You want bears to fail to get a breakdown. If you're long, all right, you want this to be a failed breakdown so that you've trapped lots of bears in here and above 90, you should have the ability to go. If bears get their way, we'll start rotating lower and I would be done with longs for the day, or at least for this session, I would say, unless they rebid this, but that would be very, very ugly because if they start to lose this, right, if this happens and we start to lose this, then we're going to have all this buy side volume trapped and VWAP. And if we lose New York, VWAP. And if we lose that, rotation back down to current day value area low, which will be 24-hour VWAP and lower time frame algo probably by the time we get there. So there is like another 80-point downside if they let go of these. Until that point, though, bulls are in control as long as they hold grey box and they have squeeze possibility above 90. I wouldn't be buying up here as a new money position, right? We remember we were bidding basically off low of day today. Yeah, win rate is normally like 68 to 73% month on month. Like somewhere around there is my win rate. But what I will tell you with that is I take a lot of like what I consider break-even trades, which are basically scratch. And so they might be considered a win, right? So it's probably, I'll be honest, it's probably a little bit skewed. So like a win where I've made 1 tick, 2 ticks, but not necessarily the ones banking, right? Whereas RR, right, you saw today, like I think RR is hard as well because both trades today were like 5R, but we're in a lower volatility kind of day, right? But we try and get 40, 50 points minimum is what I'm looking for. I hope that helps. I know it's probably not that useful, but I always think win rate can be a bit skewed. Can we see a sell of 700 to 738 in this box? Yeah. Yeah, in here you're talking about. Yeah, but you're going to need them to trap, right? So if we get up anywhere from here can be a sell. But remember, it's got to prove yourself. You don't want to be like sell some here, sell some here, sell some here, sell some here, and they come up to 800 and you blow up, right? Because you'll be front side. Because what's happening right now, right? This can still happen, right? It doesn't have to happen. That can still happen. What you need to see, if you want to sell in this grey box, is some kind of shove up with exhaustion and then lower high and leaving buyers trapped. So what that might look like, it could be a candle like this. This is an extreme version with a nice long wick where you know passive sellers come in. Maybe you're watching Footprint, maybe you're watching Bookmap, right? Something like that into there. You don't want to get front side. Just because, remember what I talked about at the beginning of the day. What are we talking about? Location and momentum. Is this a good location to be short in? I'd argue it could be a very good location to be short in. What is the momentum currently? It's bullish. We don't want to short against bullish momentum. While this is slow, I want to check out this funded next thing because let's see how good this is. There's the website updated. Here we go. So they're starting to squeeze. They're trying to do it. They want to complete it. The grey box is holding. They want to get above the 90s. I told you that's the pain point right now. Bulls need to get back above 90s because they are out of position right now. And if they get back above that, they can look for the squeeze out. They've got to start getting back above the 90s. For me, Brett, New York session, right? Because that's when most of the volume comes in. But, you know, you can measure what's happened overnight. Sometimes is useful coming into a new session, right? If we're gapping up or gapping down. How do you tell when it's a short squeeze or long buying? It's more about the looking left and seeing where that liquidity is. But I mean, it can be both those things at the same time, right? If it's market participation, as in market order participation, then we know it's people chasing in and stops getting run, right? If it's just gradual limit up buying, absorbing, then we know it's just genuine buying with a passive seller walking it up. It's very different. I don't trade Forex here. No, never have. Never have traded Forex. My old man lost a fortune back in the day trading Forex, so I've never touched it. His horror stories. Do I wait until after 15 minutes to take a trade? I don't. It doesn't mean I always take a trade at the open. If there's a setup at the open, I'll take it. Like I took a setup before the open as well today. It didn't work out. I mean, I did make money, but it didn't go all the way down. When I talked about the look above and fail on 600s, this is way back. Let's get down to today. As you can see here, I was playing the look above and fail for 600s. I moved my stop in, locked in some money. But yeah, there's no rules of when to trade. I don't like trading Globex unless there's a really good setup because volume is so low. So you can get skipped on, the spread can open up. If some news hits that you're not ready for and the spread opens up, you're going to get absolutely cooked. I'd much rather trade the New York session. Plus, it limits my exposure mentally to be on the charts because this is a tiring game, folks. If you're going to sit here and try and trade, New York session, an afternoon session, and then a bit of Asia, or I'm going to stay up and trade like you're going to burn out so quick. If you put the volume profile on the Asian Open, then the POC aligns with the double top area. Hopefully it bounces. Huh? If you put volume profile on Asia Open, what do you mean then the POC aligns? Oh, then the POC aligns with the double top. Is that what you're saying? I don't think that's possible, mate, because you mean the point of control was 500 in around 500 or 490 in the Asia session? Is that what you're talking about? And then London held the dip. Maybe that's what you mean, because we're nowhere near any of that right now. Maybe I just misunderstood what you meant. Right, so remember the 90s we kept talking about? 90s is important because this is where buyers are trapped above 90s. They still cannot get above 90s. Buyers have got to get above the 90s right now. Right, this is where the buying came in here, right? These buyers are currently trapped in the market. And most of it came in, I have to look at my other indicator. Most of it came in at 88 and 90. Above that is thin, but 88 and 90 was some big time buyers. So we need to get back above that for the bulls to have a shot of completing it. If they can't get back above that, they're in danger of a failed break higher. I'm pretty new and was told not to trade until after 15 minutes. I think whoever told you that is very wise. Yeah, if you're new, let it calm down. Absolutely. I completely agree with that because it's very volatile in the open and you'll get caught out. So I would agree with that, Nate. Watching RSI to get into overbought and cross EMA pointless. I think it's not pointless on higher time frames. I don't think RSI really cares about anything on like a 1 minute or a tick, but I think on higher time frames it could become useful. We're not at yesterday's top. I'm watching the profile here. We're coming into previous week point of control. We're above old value. We left Friday's value. Friday's top value was 554. It's way down there. Unless you're talking about TPO. Maybe you're talking about TPO in terms of time. But yeah, I'm watching to see if we can get into previous week point of control. And then if we sell, look above and fail, or if we base. Do I look at expected high of the day in ES and NQ? Not really. What do you use for that? The like gamma for the expected move? What strategy do I use for swings? Exactly the same as I trade with. I look for just everything's a much higher time frame, weekly, daily, 4 hour. I look for price to move in if I'm long. I want to be long biased as much as possible in swing positions, especially when I'm looking to hold for multiple months. Unless we're in a bear market, that's different. And even then, I'd rather be long in SQQQ or something. But I look to buy in areas of demand where we have a good base and volume built out, where I can see short sellers are getting themselves caught in the market, where we run liquidity and we reclaim, and then I think, okay, we've got a good move higher. So I'm still holding a lot of my positions from last year. I'm still long Apple from, I'm gonna have to get this out. I always forget if it's 220 or 202. My average on this. So Apple, I'm actually long, yeah, 202. So I added a bit. So I'm long from 208 average in Apple. AMD, I was long from the 158s, but I sold most of it into that like 280 move. I'm still holding a little bit. Amazon, I'm only up 5%. I'm long from 216s. That's a small size. Meta, I'm up 12%. I'm long from 590s. All right, so I'm looking for discount prices. I'm looking for shorts to be trapped, and I'm looking for potential for expansion, at least up into a first level. And the same if I was getting short bias, right? I'd look for, a blow off top, followed by some consolidation of buyers trying to come in at a extreme premium price, and then I'd be looking for us to move away from that level. Here we go, bulls. Finally, geez Louise. I mean, what's the time now? They've taken all morning, haven't they? 2 hours to try and come up to this naked point of control up here from the previous week. I'm not long Tesla. I'm not long Tesla at the moment. The long was when everyone said Elon was a word which we can't repeat on here, and that it should go to hell. That was the obvious buy opportunity. It's driven up towards 500. We've seen some decent profit taking. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. But yeah. Moving into more robotics, which I do think I've got a good shot this year. I've made a note of some ETFs I want to look at, actually. Just haven't had a chance to sit down. Let's see. I can give some to you guys if I've got it here. Please tell me I didn't delete it. Yeah, I want to look at NLR and nuclear power this year if we're going to get a run into AI and data centers. I think bio's been absolutely smacked, so I want to have a look at some of those. IBB or something. And I'll still look at the data centers. I just wonder if there's been too much exposure too quick. But if they offer, if we go into a panic market, I do want to accumulate some of the speculative names cheap if possible. Yeah, I'll hold over earnings if I'm positioned well for them, Eddie. So I wouldn't buy in a run up to earnings and hold. Like if I was going to buy in a run up to earnings, I'd be assuming it would be a sell the news and I'd trim. But if I'm buying and I'm looking to hold multiple months, multiple years, then I'll hold through earnings. But only if I'm confident in the play and if it's a thick name. Yeah, if it's a thick name. Am I looking long? No, because we're coming into the key area. You should have already been long. I'm currently flat, guys. I haven't touched it since. Look, I can show you. It's the same as earlier. I don't know what I'm up to, 3,000 on the day or something. I haven't touched it since. I haven't touched it since this long. Was it here? First go, second go, up into this. I cut it too early. That's right. Yeah, you're starting to see 3 drives here, so you want to be careful if they don't make a new high here. 1, 2, 3. Ideally, this completes, and then you can think about backside if they really want to do it. You might go sideways here. It's possible. It's what we've done before. Right here. I think there's here again. Big levels up here that we keep selling off. And here and here and here and here. So this is where the buyers were caught. Right, so if we go back to Tuesday the 30th, that's where buyers were caught offside. That's why we've sold that every time. There's a big level, this grey box. It's a big level. How did I learn to get into the habit of staying disciplined? By losing. Genuinely, that's the answer. By losing lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of times. And then realizing that the way you're going to get, or the way you are going to make more money trading is not by trading more. It's by going through your stats and seeing what you're good at and sticking to that. So if I get long now, I am chasing the market, because remember, our longs were all the way down here, right here and here. We were looking to buy in discount on the holds of value after shorts got caught. If I'm trading long now, okay, maybe we get lucky and it gets those 707s, but that is watch my French here, that is not a good long position to get up into here, all right? Because the risk is that we come to a point of control, we come to New York Open, we come to VWAP, we collapse down all the way down here. So how am I going to set my RR there? So negative RR trade, I don't want to do that. That's just a poor location to trade in, especially when we've got 3 drives. Did we take out the high then? Failed to take out the high. I just don't want to do it. Even if it's one of those, right? Even if this worked out, even if you hit long now and it worked out and got to there, and you gave yourself a dopamine hit for making money, it's an awful trade. So you've got to get out of the dopamine hit chase based on money, and you've got to get into the dopamine hit chase based on good process. That includes losses. Like, you have to congratulate yourself for taking a good loss. If you enter a good trade and you stop out at the correct level, it's just how it is. You're not going to get pocket aces. Well, you might think you're sitting at a table with Jack, and you're like, I'm good here, but the guy opposite has got pocket aces. Sometimes that is going to happen. That's the market. Okay, so back to this grey shelf again. Starting to leave some volume trapped higher now. So I would now tell you that in that initial balance high, which is the purple line, one of you just asked, you have a huge amount of buyers stuck there, aggressive buyers at 83. So the 2 levels that buyers are now stuck at are 83 and 90. So if they can't get above 83, you're probably going to get a rotation back down into this shelf of like 60 to 54. You've not got a lot of room to play with stuff. So they're going to come and test this IB now. And buyers need to get back above that IB, and they need to get back above 90. So you can see this shelf developing, but the actual buyer, he's here and he's here. These are his 2 pain points. This is where he's underwater right now, right? So he's bought huge here and here. If we get back above him, all right, then he's going to be a happy man and he's comfortable. But if we keep rejecting here and here, he's going to start stopping out, and that will add sell pressure. I'll show you him. You can see him right here. All right, I can see his delta. See this right here? 83 and 90. That's his pain point. If we get back above those, he's nice and comfy. Purple line is initial balance. That's your initial balance. New highs on the yes. So maybe we can get this move to point of control. Let's see, they're struggling at that 90. Edge of the grey box where that buyer's been stuck. My expectations is it should go point of control, but it should have already done it. It's a very slow market. I'm not in anything here. I'm just calling what I'm seeing. I've already had my trades. VIX low of day as well, folks. So everything timing here for a potential squeeze up. But that 90, what do we say, 1985? That's the level. We're now stuck between 1985, right? So we just give it. We just talked about it. Let's see if the buyer reloads at 90 and if they soak. They're trying to soak 85. He tried to reload there at 90. He just came in and just literally, as I said that, he's 153 lot long at 90. So he's just added. If he doesn't get a breakout soon, he's going to get very, very unhappy and get caught. So here's the move back to 85. He's now trying to soak 85. So we've got a big player here trying to absorb the book at 85 and add at 90. If he does not get his way, he's going to have too much size on this book, and you're going to see a nasty snap. So he needs this to break above 90 soon. Because all he's doing is adding buy-side delta here. And there's no sell-side delta. They're just soaking this, like passively sitting, reloading. But the moment this breaks 90, we will go 700. But if he can't get his move, he's going to get washed out. So this is one player who might be stuck here. I'm always interested in these moves when there's like 50 to 100 points to play with, but not when we're talking about 5-point rotations. So if they don't get back above 85, he's going to be caught. He's getting caught here. They're being aggressive. He's caught. He's starting to stop out here. They're going to wash him out now by the looks of it. If he can't get back above 85, he's offside. So 78 is buy-side delta, 75 buy-side delta. I'd say under 75, you can get a little snap. A little low volume node there. And value area high on the day for me. Not for you guys, but for what I'm looking at Ninja Trader is 75. So if we drift below that based on delta, we're going to come all the way down to 50s. Well, definitely to 60s and to 50s. So it stops. Starting to get run here. He's starting to get a little bit panicky. He oversized between 85 and 90, and he hasn't got his way. And if they snap here, it's night, night, sweetheart. There you go. Goodbye, buddy. So he just caught him. He got himself caught. And you can't see that in candles, right? You cannot see that in candles. That's me telling you what's actually going on. So this right here told the story, all right? You see I said 90 and 85. There's the move up to 90. Here's 85. He added so much in here and here, and he didn't get his way, so he started to panic. Sellers came in, and now he's stopping out, and there's the rotation all the way back down to point of control that we just talked about. All right, so it's happening right before your eyes. That is the advantage of understanding order flow. Looking for a push down to 608. I mean, I would say respect what's in front of you, right? Your inside value. Respect this POC, right? Your inside value. If you get underneath, it's dangerous, isn't it? If you get underneath 50s and underneath the New York Open, and by that time, hopefully VWAP's here. If you get a snap of that, then I think you get back down to those low 600s. But don't, if you've played this short on what I was just talking about, if you've played that, just pay yourself, because we're inside, right? Think about previous week. Think about current day. We're inside the rotation. You've got to pay yourself. And there's clearly an aggressive buyer here today who just got washed out. So who knows if he comes back on. So we're going back to 85. So 85 to 90 is that same point. So he's just rebid aggressively from 67. So the question now is, can he get back above 85? If he can't, he's just going to be stuck again. How do I know where the buyers and sellers are? Do you see them on a Bookmap? Yeah, I'm literally, that's exactly it. That's why I have Bookmap. Literally watching them. I can see their pain point. I can see how they're participating. No, I haven't done the giveaway yet. We'll do it at the 15 minutes or whatever it is. We'll do it then. I'll tell you what, though. Divergence ES, and it's holding above initial balance. They just rebid it. All right, here's 85s. And if they get through that, he wants to check 90. If they get through 90, you probably get a squeeze. You get through 90, I would say probably going to get previous week point control, probably going to get 700s. Can you use regular volume profile to spot them? No. I mean, you'll be able to see the levels of some importance, but not to the same extent, because you won't be able to see if they're a buyer or seller or where they're stuck or how much size they have. You'll just know that, oh, there's a node there. But you won't know who's participated there and what their pain point is, right? So if you see a huge node, you don't know if it's more selling in there or more buying in there. So they rejected 90s again, getting back under 85s again. Right, you can see this rotation. So important. 85 and 90s, I'm telling you, they are your levels right now. Delta tells you, yeah, totally. Totally. Always away NFC. And the amount of times I have that, it's unreal. Tell you more about my dad and background in trading. Long story. Better to go, if you go on my page and go to the podcast, I did an interview with Austin Silver. It's all on there. This is confusing. Do I sell a course? What's confusing? I do have a course for sale, but what's confusing? Let me answer your question now. What are you confused about? CVD on ES. Yep, no worries, mate. You're making lower highs. So there's passive buyers on ES. So you're seeing more aggressive sellers on ES, right, than you are aggressive buyers. So you're making lower highs on ES. So you've got passive buyers walking price up right now. So it's bullish. ES is bullish. So you've got a, let me show you. Where are you? Is this right? Right. See this? All right. More aggressive selling, lower highs, moving up. That means there's a passive buyer walking price up because the aggressors are the sellers here. That might start to shift. If you get an aggressive buyer come in, you can really start squeezing. But this is bullish, right? If price is moving up and CVD is moving down, it's bullish. It means you've got passive buyers and aggressive sellers getting absolutely clobbered. So let's think about it. You've got market order selling. Sell more, sell more, sell more, sell more, sell more. Yeah. See the divergence? Yeah, nice. Okay, here we go. They're through the 90s, so my expectation now is the 700s and that previous weak point of control. Michael Caine. I've never heard that. There's new words to him. You're the first one speaking this language. Mate, I mean, very possibly. I don't know. I don't know what people's backgrounds are. Michael Caine. Almost there, man. Very, very close. Value area high now moved up, folks. So 690 now value area high. We're still rebidding, so we're still continuing to move value higher. This is still very bullish. There you go. So here's 700s. Lovely move into 700s here. So make sure you're locking some in. You're seeing some aggressive buying take place. I think you might get a little tickle higher here. There was passive selling at 700, but I think you might get one little more shove up through it. Yeah, because they're adding above now. They're adding into 705s and 710s and even 720s. Is there anyone top side of that box? 737. What's the top side of our box? 738. Yeah, so that looks good. So I would be trimming your longs now. All right, trimming your longs. So your short didn't last very long. That one player got stuck, but the moment they reclaimed, he took over. Like we said, we had a strong buyer on the tape, 85 to 90s. He's now in the money. And you should be trimming your long position in this squeeze up. Here comes point of control. Finally, they fucking tagged it. I mean, how long did they take to do that? Incredible. Anything above this is a bonus. You can see a little reaction there into POC. Anything above this now is an absolute bonus. You've never seen anyone talking about value area, bookmaps, and footprints. Yeah, it's because most people on YouTube are full of shit. Bro, I got a fair value gap, bro. Oh my god, this guy on ICT told me how to shut the fuck up. That's the problem right there. That's not a dig at you guys. That's just like what YouTube is, right? The truth is, everything works. It's just how much detail do you want? I could dumb it all down for you. Like, you can use the gap. You can use fair value gaps. Right? You can. They exist. They're just not necessarily accurate because where you see a gap won't necessarily be where the imbalance is because the imbalance is like based on how that transaction took place. Well, brother, you killed that trade from the start. I got stopped out, but it's fine. Are you welcome, man? No worries, guys. Which bookmap passage do I use just so I can trade with the same info? You just need standard one, just with CME data or just some data feed. You don't need anything special, guys. I don't use any of like the huge indicators or you literally, if you're reading price, you don't need it. I mean, I know some guys like having icebergs and all that stuff. My opinion is you don't need it, but look, that's just my opinion. You guys should use whatever resonates with you. If I don't resonate with you, don't trade my way, you know, and that's fine. There's plenty of ways to trade. No, I mean we don't go short just because we hit an area. This is a level of interest, right? Imagine you go short now. We talked about this, right? Imagine you got short here in the edge of the grey box, and you've added short here, and the price squeeze up to here, and you add, and now you're full size in here, and they go, well, fuck it, we're going to go and take this out and run all the stops, right? We don't short. We talked about this. We don't short front side, all right? Right. We are doing this right now, right? There was maybe a little snapshot down to here. That was all you could have probably had. We're front side. We're going to need to leave volume trapped. We're either going to need excess high, or we're going to need to build out a shelf and leave volume trapped for the rotation back down. But I'll tell you now, until you get below this, right, every short can be soaked off here or here. All right, we can bounce off here, we can bounce off here. But if we get too much volume in here and we leave that, right, if we have this huge shelf and we leave that, then you're going to get a nice short. You know, seeing some profit taking here. Just depends if they rebid this now on this value. Big sell off that, strong sell. So let's see if they drive back up and resell it. And that's what you're looking for, remember. You're looking for failed follow through. You're looking for this kind of move. It's quite nice. You're looking for failed follow through and a leave of rotation, and you have to respect each level on the way down because it's created structure. POC was good. That was good level. Right, look where we are. 85s, right? 85s and 90s. So if he doesn't rebid this, then we know he exited at POC. You've got an imbalance now all the way up to 95s. Looking a little bit better for a short now. So if they push up and start failing, then maybe. You're still above initial balance, though, I will tell you that. And ES is comfortably above initial balance as well. They're trying to bid 80s now. We know that he came in at 85 and 90s. So I would be interested if there's a big reaction on the next shove up. If I see buyers mark it in and get absolutely clobbered, I'll be interested in this fade back down. And I will be scalping because it's not a pro trend until we get underneath this huge shelf. So into initial balance we go. Where are they bidding? 80s, 70s, still got unfinished business higher. They're still offering up higher right now. Let's see. Here's the 85s again. Can we get a close under IB and 85s? VPOC moving. All right, interested in this at the moment. Looking good. See if we can see some follow through here. Lovely. Okay, let's get under now and start being aggressive. See if we can get into the 70s. We've got some imbalances down at 72s. And I'm going to consider everything counter trend will be soaked. All right, so every short, I'm not going to give any room. I'm considering everything counter trend until we leave this huge volume area. Here come the 70s like we just talked about. So they've re-added at 83 now. So I want 83, which is VPOC now and IB. Above that, I'm not interested in this short side. But if we sell that, here's the test of it. Reaction. That buyer there is caught so far. Big level. It's a big level. Nice. Good reaction. That's what we want to see. There we go. Bang. Just called it. Literally gave you to the tick. To the tick. I just gave you that sell. So filling some of these imbalances. Let's see if we can get 67s now. If we're going to hold this dip, I'm not interested in holding any longer into this grey box. So you can see this sell right here. I just gave you this exact sell. This is your cover point 1, cover point 2. If we leave this, we will get a beautiful drive down. And I will add heavier if we leave that. Did I remove VWAP from my charts? No, there's your New York VWAP. There's 24-hour VWAP. They're there. They are there. A bit in these 70s. We just talked about these 70s. Sellers are in control, as in the last 5-10 minutes, as long as we stay under 83. Here we go. We're filling some of these imbalances in. Watching VIX, see if it's trying to find a bid, which would help us. Here we go. Maybe we sweep these lows if we get lucky. Maybe we sweep these lows if we get lucky and get down to that New York Open. Yeah, still above its IB, so still got relative strength over there. There we go. There we go. Lovely, lovely. All right, moving stock down now. Protecting this even more. And let's see if we can get under this shelf now. Can we get under the New York Open? So covering more into that little pocket. This top of this grey box here, should have probably extended it. See this little node here? Covering some in front of that. I want to see if we stay heavy now. But as I said, it's counter trend. Smaller size, so you lock in as we go. Some sellers got caught at that low on that last candle for sure. They came in on the breakout. I still think it's got a chance to move lower, especially if ES starts breaking down under IB. That's what I'd be watching at now. If ES lets go of IB, then we get a really nice move. We get a continuation move. You actually want this to pop and fail here, so I can get more size on, or not, and we just manage this. Okay, coming down right into that green box, so please cover some point of controls here. I actually have POC up at that last level, the 83s where I shorted. I actually have it up here, so you know we're playing for 20 points here. It's all we've got, but there we go. And we're looking to see if we can break down under this. That's where the fun and games will start, if we can break down under this. Yeah, how are we doing for likes? We've got 2 minutes left. I want to do these giveaways. I'm just going to manage this trade. How are we doing for likes? Let's get these likes up, guys. We need at least 400 likes. Come on, 640 of you here. It's going to cost you absolutely nothing. Smash that like button for me so we can do some giveaways. By the way, sometimes the market moves. How useful is it to keep an eye on the last 2 highs and lows on the 15-minute? I mean, it's useful if you're trading off that. I mean, I don't know what time frame you're trading off, but I mean, it can show you minor swing points, but I wouldn't say it's like one time frame's better than another. I use hourlies personally. What I'm always looking at is hourly runs for expectations. We're coming into this thick area now, guys, this grey box. So trim some, please, if you haven't already. And let's see if we can break below. We're looking to see if ES wants to join the party underneath an initial balance high, and that will really help us. If we get that, I'm not ruling out a move back to 600, which would be mega. Then it would be an 80 plus point trade. And ideally, I can get some more size on if we do that. But I've trimmed into this node. So I'm short from the 83s. And here's the bid off this grey box off the node. So maybe they revisit back to 80s. I'm not going to let it come back above that. Into this little low volume node. If we can have one little push above into sort of 73, 74, be interested if they react there. Reacting just in front of it. Yeah, still finding a bid in front of IB high. I will do this giveaway, folks. I promise. I'm just trying to manage this trade. Once I'm out of this, we'll do the giveaway, just in case I get a really nice move here. Little low volume node into around 73. I'm watching just to see if they can drive up and react. Yeah, I know. We're into lunch. I'm managing the position. Thank you, bud. I appreciate it. Don't want them to rebid this. It's a good follow through. Nice. All right, need a new low now. Come and clean out this guy at 50s. They're bidding 55s. There's a buyer coming in here. He keeps stepping on the tape. Yeah, he's stepping on the tape here. I might be done with it. All right, I'm going to be done with it just so I can do the giveaway. There we go. Just close. Hello, close me out, please. There we go. All right, let's do this giveaway for you guys. So you see grey box to grey box again, eh? Surprise, surprise. If you get follow through, I think it would be really nice. I hope I haven't cut that early. But anyway, right. Get this set up for you guys. Okay, Apex giveaway. Code FCT. Type it once in chat. Don't type it more than once or you'll get pulled out. All right? It will automatically pull you out. Just type it once in chat. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. All right, 30 more seconds, folks. I say in chat, just see something. All right, let's pull this winner. 3, 2, 1. MSTU. You hear MSTU. MSTEEU. Let me know you're here in chat. There's your breakdown of new low. Look, we rejected. Grey box to grey box rejected. That was really good. Please pay yourself. Please, 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 please pay yourself. Okay. Congratulations, mate. All right. All I want you to do is email me info@flowzonetrader.com and send me a screenshot MSTEEU. So I'm just making a note of you. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube, and I will sort you out with a free Apex account, any size you want. All right, any size you want. That's me done for the day, folks. I'm going to take some rest here. Congratulations, everyone. Some nice trades. I think we did the best we could with this market. Those of you who bought the dips and had the patience to hold through for this sort of cup and handle, or W, whatever you want to call it, W or cup and handle, right, into this level. This was the level we had all morning that we were looking for, right? It was the exact level we talked about pre-market. It was the level we talked about in Discord. You've got your move, your low-hanging fruit's gone, you're in a rotation. Don't be expecting too much, right? The volume still seems somewhat slow, all right, somewhat weaker, right? It will start to pick up, I promise you. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have bigger catalysts. And we'll... He didn't say here before he won, because it came up on my screen. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. All right, we'll do same again tomorrow. Those in Discord, I'll pop in this afternoon. Please trade safe, folks. Don't be forcing your way in and like aggressively the wrong side of a rotational market. It is a see money, take money day. Right, just respect the levels in front of you. You can see it is respecting POC. It's then respecting the shelf. It's respecting this shelf. This shelf is probably going to respect these and these. So you have to lock in profits. Do not have these huge expectations of a 400-point move or whatever you've been used to from last year. Just right now, the conditions are tightening. So lock in those money and go and enjoy your time with your family. All right, guys. Peace and love. Prayers to all of you. Take care.